Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing? Hopefully good. This has been kind of a weird one. I'm gonna be real, because up until about 5-ish minutes ago, we didn't have power in this house. I created the stream event. I sat down, I was like, okay, feeling good. I got my Red Bull, got my water, I'm ready to go. And then the power went out. So we're kind of scrambling a little bit, but we're okay. The power came back on with a couple of minutes to spare, which is awesome. So here we are. We made it though. We are here. How are you guys? Are you guys feeling good? Are you feeling alive? Hopefully. It would be bad if you weren't. There's a handful of things to talk about today. A surprising number of things to talk about, honestly. So we're going to run through all of that goodness. We're going to... Let me pull the stream chat up so I can see what you lovely people are saying. We're going to run through some gaming news. I'm probably going to be playing a little Diablo while we watch some of these things for reactions and for stream clips, because why not? You guys can make fun of my builds, because that's just what we do. I am by no means a try-hard when it comes to games like Diablo. I am simply a try. So I just try to make it. Just try to sort of figure it out. Okay. What do you mean something went wrong? There we go. Okay, copy that. And then we're going to paste it onto this scene. See, it's like, oh no, something's wrong with the link. Hey, there we go. I'm still trying to decide between buying the new Apple VR headset or a used motorcycle. It's funny that those are the two options. I mean, apparently Angry Joe had his stream or his reaction review thing struck for the Apple Vision Pro. Dr. Disrespect had his whole stream copyright struck. My channel got a copyright strike, a hard copyright strike. Like as if they did the same thing to my Luke Stevens live channel for that reaction thing. As if I just like re-uploaded the entirety of Frozen 2. Like the most egregious copyright offense. That's what they considered me co-streaming the Apple event to be. So I filed like a little appeal and I was like, okay, guys, like this is a little ridiculous. And to YouTube's credit, they did review it. They said, yes, it is still an offense. They copyrighted it. You weren't allowed to co-stream it, whether you knew that or not. But it's not as severe as we previously thought. So they removed the warning strike or whatever from my channel. So we don't have any strikes or anything on the channel now. They did review it, remove the strike. And it's because in the thing, in the like appeal, I typed in, I was like, I acknowledge they have the copyright to that content. If they don't want me co-streaming it, that's their right. I simply was not aware. And so I will happily take down the streams and we won't make this mistake again. But I think that for an honest mistake like this that a lot of other creators made, it's unfair to penalize us with a hard copyright strike. And again, to their credit, they removed the hard strike. So there you go. Am I happy I left Twitch after the new guidelines? Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We're going to talk about that. I mean, I tweeted out, it really seems like Twitch is speed running like self-destruction. It's like they're trying to figure out what is the worst possible way we could run this business. And they're just that, like, that's what they're doing. That they're just specializing in that. And it's frankly amazing because every time they have the chance to make a decent decision, they find a way to make an even worse one. Like it's honestly quite impressive. I don't know how they do it. Like I don't think I could make as many poor decisions if I wanted to. It's just shocking. So and now like, oh man, we're going to talk about it. I have some of the screenshots pulled up. We're going to talk about it because it's too delicious not to. But yeah, man, it's, oh yeah. And then they revealed that they're going to start charging people to cancel their affiliate things. Honestly, I have sort of a conspiracy theory with that Twitch stuff. Maybe it's not even that big of a conspiracy theory, but I have a theory as to why they're seemingly self-sabotaging. And I think it has some validity, I think. So I'll break that down here in just a second. I'm just pulling up all of these little things. So, I mean, I guess if nobody was aware, basically, let me see if I can pull up the full Twitch guidelines. Twitch guidelines. Come on. Twitch guidelines. So there's like a handful of things that dropped, but basically this was the big one. This is the tweet that went viral basically. And it was Twitch's new branded content guidelines. On-stream logos are limited to 3% of screen size. Burned-in video ads are not allowed. Burned-in display ads are not allowed. Burned-in audio ads are no longer allowed. Twitch claims they were never allowed, full stop, and they're just clarifying. But to be clear what this means, if you have like a logo, like for example, on my setup here, you'll notice in the top corner, we have Apex Gaming, that logo. That Apex Gaming logo is a sponsor of mine, and I love them dearly. They hooked me up with this gaming PC. They make great PCs. A bunch of you guys have ordered PCs, which is great because you get a great PC and it helps the channel. It's awesome. So they're a great sponsor. Very, very proud to have them. But if I were to make this logo like this, I could be banned or suspended on Twitch. No joke. Like, that's too big. This is probably about right. This might be about the max, 3% of the total screen size. But once you start getting up to here, nope. Nope. Banned. Like, how dumb is that? It doesn't make any sense at all. So that's not allowed anymore. The other thing, inserted burn-in ads are no longer allowed. They may not insert ads directly into their streams. Now, what Twitch claims, let's be like as honest and fair as we possibly can be, because people love dogpiling on Twitch for obvious reasons, but let's be as fair as we can. What they say this is for is so that you cannot have a separate ad company basically selling ads for your stream. So you couldn't have like your own employees shopping around video ads from like HelloFresh and Coca-Cola and Apple, Twitter, whoever is, I don't know if you could even get those brands, but you get ads from them, video ads like you would see on TV or in a pre-roll that you're just playing on your stream in the video that you render in, and then your camera moves or whatever. You're not allowed to do that. You can't play a video ad basically that would be on a regular pre-roll. And this already, like Asmongold was talking about this. He's like, we recorded a video ad for a sponsor I had, and I wouldn't be allowed to play that video ad anymore on stream because it would be considered a burn-in video ad. That wouldn't be allowed. Like, it's just amazing. It doesn't, I understand why they want to do it, but this is so vague. It's just not clear. And again, there's reasons why they're doing this, but beyond that, no burned in display ads. Display ads are just banners. So you couldn't even have a sponsorship banner where like you're doing your thing on stream and then they have a banner here. Isn't this funny? These are the Twitch picks, by the way. What it's going to be really funny is we're going to look at this. They said that they specifically were too vague in these guidelines, but does this look vague? They went to the trouble of rendering and hiring artists to draw up these mock drafts of what they're talking about. They knew exactly what they were doing. It just seems like Twitch always pushes just a little bit or crosses the line and hopes nobody calls them on it. And when somebody calls them on it, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, oopsie. I'm sorry you feel that way. It's so cringe. But they won't allow banner ads, which this isn't even disruptive. This one, there's no reason they shouldn't allow this. This is ridiculous, but there is a reason they're banning this, which we'll get to in a second. And then no burned in audio ads, which would be something like there's a pop in every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, that says, enjoying the stream, support Luke by going to audible.com and using his promo code. Nothing like that is allowed. Now, Twitch has like two ways that they're trying to justify this. The one way, yeah, we're sorry. The one way they're saying that or one reason they're saying they're doing this is because they want to protect the viewer. I don't see how this protects the viewer. Honestly, if there's a streamer, this is a great thing about the marketplace of entertainment. If you come across a streamer who has banner ads that are just insane, you're probably not going to spend much time watching them. Just like if right here, my Apex Gaming PC's ad or little logo, if it was like this across the screen, you'd probably be like, Luke, can you stop? Like that's a little disruptive. And you probably stop watching, right? Like, you don't need an official policy. The viewers will determine what they're okay with and what they're not. So I don't see how that holds up. The other thing that they've said that they're doing this for is because they want to avoid like third-party advertising agencies, like I said, with these burned in video ads. They don't want to allow that, which I guess I could see. That one makes the most sense of any of these, honestly, because they don't want, for example, like the Game Awards streaming on Twitch, but then having their own advertisers coming in during commercial breaks to hard encode ads, because that's something that Twitch has no control over. They would like their cut of the pie, and I can kind of understand that. But this stuff, the 3% of screen size, all of this stuff is just, it's ridiculous. And they have other policies, such as you cannot have advertisers or sponsors for alcohol or for political things. So you couldn't have like a congressman come onto your stream and talk to you and have them pay you for that exposure, like somebody going on Hassan's stream to talk about politics or something. You couldn't do that. And Asmongold had the good point, and he was like, so you can advertise alcohol like beers and stuff, but not politics? How does that make any sense? And frankly, it doesn't. So this obviously caused a bit of a ruckus, especially because Twitch, again, it's like they're speed running. Just the worst decisions possible. Twitch also announced that they are going to be charging $25 to each individual person who tries to terminate their streamer agreement. So if you or we terminate this agreement, a maintenance fee will be deducted from your remaining balance. A maintenance fee will be the lesser of the accrued program fees for your Twitch channel, or $25. And your remaining balance after the deduction of the maintenance fee will be paid to you. And this, to me, would suggest that they're having so many people try to back out of their affiliate agreements that they're trying to just get a little cash and bail, or at least make the most of people bailing. Kick, to their credit, I'll talk more about Kick in a second, but Kick, to their credit, came out with a layup saying, we will cover the $25 fee for anyone willing to break their contract and move to Kick, which honestly, it's this is just an easy dub for Kick. This whole thing that you see, like people tweeting out, we'll address that. But anyway, so that was a layup. That was easy enough. Was there anything else? Oh yeah, their apology was interesting. Twitch issued an apology after people weren't super thrilled about that. And what they said was, let's see, an apology. Today's branded content policy update was overly broad. This created confusion and frustration, and we apologize for that. We're sorry. We do not intend to limit streamers' ability to enter into direct relationships with sponsors, and we understand that this is an important part of how streamers earn revenue. We're sorry. We wanted to clarify our existing ads policy that was intended to prohibit third-party ad networks from selling burned-in video and display ads on Twitch, which is consistent with other services. That's true. That's why I said that one makes the most sense. But the banner, I still think is overshooting. We missed the mark with the policy language, and we will rewrite the guidelines to be clear. Thank you for sharing your concerns, and we appreciate the feedback. We'll notify the community once we have updated the language. So again, just totally avoiding the key problem. And to me, there's a few reasons there's many reasons this is a problem, but for one, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Perception is often more important than reality. In the case of Twitch, even if it is the case that they were trying to create a policy that was just good for the community and they worded it wrong with the wrong verbiage and things, then it still doesn't really make things better, because the perception is everybody is instantaneously ready to jump at Twitch to say, well, yeah, but you guys are like scummy scammers who are trying to ruin your own website. You don't care about streamers. You're just trying to take away sponsorship revenue, all of this. And whether or not that's true, that's what everybody thinks. And so Twitch should be much more concerned with repairing that image than whatever the crap they're doing here. The fact that they're spending so much money on lawyers to work out this verbiage when they should be focusing on trying to repair relationships with the community and with their streamers is just amazing to me. Another really interesting thing about this that's going to lead me into my conspiracy theory is this. So this was interesting. This guy is the CEO of Twitch, Dan Clancy, and he went on, I don't know who this is, but it's Fillion, I guess. It's some VTuber stream. And he talked a little bit, okay? Let's hear what he has to say.
Contracts come back? Do you even want them to come back? Do you see a world where Twitch contracts come back? Do you even want them to come back?
I think even if this is like cut weird, his response worded specifically is what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I much prefer a world where creators have lots of options in terms of how they create. The size of our platform is what earns your, you staying on the platform.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm really interested in him saying. Again,
have lots of options in terms of how they create. The size of our platform is what earns your, you staying on the platform.
The size of our platform is what earns you staying on the platform. This epitomizes everything that's wrong with Twitch right now. Their view is that they don't have to win streamers over with policy, with commissions, with higher payouts or anything. The reason people stream on Twitch is because Twitch is the largest live streaming platform in the world. You could say like TikTok, whatever. I don't like, come on. For streaming, Twitch is the biggest. So in their view, all they have to do is remain the largest with the most audience and they'll be good. The other big problem that Twitch currently has is that they run at a loss, or have run at a loss for years and years and years. They won't say directly if they are, like, how much money they're making, if they're very profitable. They've said before, no, Twitch is a sustainable business. Twitch is a profitable business. But they've never clarified if that is using the, like, in-house cost of AWS, which is the Amazon's web services, which they get, of course, a very good deal on being part of Amazon. So if they were being run on the open market, paying fair market prices for server infrastructure and things like that, would they still be profitable? And that I'm much more skeptical of. But what's clear is that they want to expand the profitability. They want to expand the margin further. And one of the ways they're doing that is by trying to build out a network for their own in-house sponsorship platform where they will take 50%. So if you are a Twitch streamer and you get a sponsor, if you want to be on Twitch, you have to follow these guidelines, like having the 3% total screen real estate. You can't have banner ads that they don't approve. You have to have all of these things built in through their platform, so that way they get a cut of 50% most likely of all of those sponsorships that come through. That's not even really the conspiracy theory, because they've been pretty upfront and honest, and there's been multiple revelations in the last year that have shown that they're trying to build out this network, such as in the last big thing where people got really upset, where Twitch basically said that they were trying to find ways and experimenting with ways that they could provide sponsorships direct to streamers where they would be involved, which effectively is just them trying to take a 50% cut of all of your money, which naturally streamers aren't that thrilled about. The conspiracy theory I have is that, and this, again, maybe it's not even a conspiracy theory, but let me see if I can find the stat. Percentage of Twitch streamers versus views, maybe. I'm specifically interested in how many streamers are streaming to how many people. Viewers ratio, stream time active viewers, maybe. Concurrent viewers. No, I don't think this is it. I'm specifically interested in what the average. Last time I looked it up, it was like 97% or 98% of streamers on Twitch are streaming to one or less people. How many people are streaming to one or less people Twitch? If anybody has a link to what I'm thinking of, just put it in chat or send it to me, because I swear I've seen this article. Maybe this. Okay, no, this number is higher than it was before, but this is 2021. So maybe this is it. I don't know. Let's just look at this. This is a fair enough one. So over the last 90 days, this was posted back in March of 21. So it's different now for sure. But as for how different, I don't know. Over the last 90 days, if you average more than 6 viewers, you are in the top 6.7% of Twitch. More than 6 viewers, you are technically a top streamer. That's ridiculous. 11 or more viewers puts you in the top 3.1%. And to get into the top 1% of all streamers, you just need 51 or more viewers. That means that 99% of people have less than that. So my number was far exaggerated, but still, like, this is what those viewership splits look like. This is the number of people that are streaming over a 90-day period to how many people. And you see, basically, you can't even see the number of people that are streaming to thousands of people or even hundreds of people. That is in the top 1/10 of 1%. So my conspiracy theory is that Twitch is actually trying to push out these people, because these people are streaming to 0 to 5 people and are costing Twitch way more money than they're making off of these people. They don't make much money off of these guys. They make the money off of the people in this category, like 50 plus, who are partners with 70 to 100 concurrent viewers and more, and that have tons of subs and sponsorships and all that stuff. That's where they make their money, over here where there's basically nobody. So they could just slash all of these people and they'd be happy, because this is where all the server infrastructure, not all of it, but this is where a lot of it goes to, with the ingest specifically. So to me, I'm like, okay, well, what is it that could explain why they're just trying to push people away from the platform? And it seems like, well, maybe they don't want as many people streaming on the platform. Maybe that's part of it. Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't that make sense with all of their actions, everything they've been doing? I don't know, man. I think it makes sense. Now, I still think that this is really dumb on their part, because they have the perception or the idea in their heads that the big streamers like XQC or Hassan and those guys, they think that they're just going to stick it out and keep streaming. And so far they've been right. Apparently it's because, like, XQC has a very young audience. So most of his subs, like, I think the number we saw when we looked it up was like 55 or 60% of his subs are from Prime, like Amazon Prime, because it's like a kid using their parents' Amazon Prime account to use the Prime sub to XQC. So for him to leave to Kick or to leave to YouTube or Rumble or whatever would represent probably a pretty significant pay cut, because all of those kids are not going to magically be able to afford $5 a month because they're using Prime subs. They're getting it basically for free. So for those guys, leaving is not as clear cut. Yeah, you'll make way more money as some people are making out to be. With Kick's 95.5, maybe it makes sense, but there's also other things you have to consider, like, you know, Kick's moderation issues and stuff like that. But I mean, if you look at the numbers, Kick has been tweeting this out. What you can expect for the 50-50 split for $5. I mean, by the time you get to like 5,000 subs, the difference is 12,000 to 23,000, or 1,000 subs, $2,500 versus almost $5,000. It adds up. It adds up, you know? But what I want to be clear on is that this is not as clear cut as people make it out to be, where it's like, yeah, XQC brings his 100, I don't know how many subs he has, like 70,000 subs or 60,000 subs. I have no idea. He brings all of his tens of thousands of subs over and he'll just make way more money because of the bigger split. It's not necessarily the case, because like 60% of his subs are Prime. So they aren't actually paying anything out of pocket for that sub. So it to me, it seems like Twitch is actively trying to nuke their own platform because they want to get rid of the little guys. And so far, most of the people that have moved to Kick are the little guys. It's the people with 5 to 10 viewers. It's the people who are trying to get that bigger cut, because to them, the difference between like $50 a month from streaming and $100 a month from streaming is pretty significant. And it feels exciting to all of a sudden be making that difference. But Kick has its own suite of issues that I've run through before. Whenever a company comes along and it's just like, we've figured out some incredible business model where we are now profitable, or we can manage this, but no other company in the world has been able to manage it, that gets me very, very suspicious, because that's simply not how reality works. Kick is having to use most likely AWS or some sort of Microsoft offering for their cloud infrastructure. And they're not paying the in-house costs that Twitch is paying, certainly. So Kick's server costs are higher. So if you took Twitch's audience and moved it all to Kick, Kick would be operating at a thinner margin because the server cost would be higher. They also are operating at a thinner margin because they're taking less of a cut from subs. I don't think they take a cut of donations. I don't think they have, they have kicks. Is that what they call it? Kick donations? Maybe they take a small cut of that. I'm not sure. And they don't really have a strong advertising infrastructure either. So at no part of this equation does it make any sense that Kick is somehow profitable if Twitch is struggling as much as they seem to be. So they're losing a ton of money. And people say, well, that's okay because they have stake.com, which is the gambling website that backs them up, and that's what keeps this thing afloat. Basically, Kick is the loss leader that pays, or that stake pays for, in order so that they can funnel people to stake.com, where they make their money through gambling and all of that. Is that a viable business model in the short term? Probably. Long term, I personally don't think so. I don't see it, because most of the people that are moving over to Kick, I don't think are going to be gambling on stream, and I don't think that they're going to magically start funneling people over to Stake. Now, if they just plaster stake.com all over Kick, and it's like one of the built-in sponsorships or something for the platform, okay, maybe that works. But I think eventually, especially as Kick continues to grow, something will have to change. In my humble opinion. I don't know. Yeah, at the minimum, they would take a payment processing fee. Yeah, it's probably 5%. They probably take 5% off of donations to process it. They take an extra couple percent, off the top of the 3% processing fee. So they probably manage it that way. But I just don't see how Twitch lasts in the or how Kick lasts in the long term if Twitch is already currently struggling as is, with all of the benefits and advantages that they have. So there's that. So with all this said, I mean, people in general have kind of revolted against all of this. They're not too thrilled with Twitch's decisions. Asmongold called for people to boycott. Mr. Beast came out and said, hey, Twitch, how about instead of handicapping what creators make, you help them make more? Seems more logical. And he said that he was thinking that he might go and try a stream on Kick. Who knows? If Mr. Beast goes over and starts throwing his support behind Kick, you could see some stuff actually happening. Can't hate his drip though. Louis Vuitton everyday crew neck, of course. Stone Island cargo pant, $500 pants, quite nice. Cucinelli, I guess. Cashmere quarter zip, $2,000 hoodie. Custom DX Racer, garbage. Hassan Piker briefs, resale, love it. Custom Air Forces, oh yeah, those ugly shoes they sent. I think they sent that to Kai. And then banning your #1 streamer. Yeah, banning Kai was weird. That whole thing was really weird. Anyway, it's just baffling. It really does feel like they're just actively trying to make the worst decisions possible. They work really hard to make the worst decisions possible. Yeah, they're consistently bad. Now, Twitch doesn't need any creators at all. That's why they're getting rid of them. I found a Twitch executive's burner account. Oh. It's just amazing. Like, yeah, last to leave Twitch goes broke. That's funny. So I don't know what the future of Twitch is. I just have to imagine that once, and I hope, that once all of these Twitch partners' contracts run out, they all just jump ship. I don't think they move to Kick. I think a lot of them probably move to YouTube. I hope YouTube pays them a fat stack to do it. Kick, I think paying for exclusivity contracts is not a bad idea, but Kick has a pretty negative reputation or poor reputation right now, and it's going to take a lot to change that, especially when like Aiden Ross is your representative. Because frankly, I don't want to be streaming on a platform where like Aiden Ross is the best of the best, you know? I don't want to be lumped into that group. I would rather be like, oh yeah, I stream on the same platform that Asmongold does. Then I'm okay. If Asmongold went to Kick, then I think that helps smooth things over. But they're going to need something like that to happen. They're going to need a big mass exodus, and they also are going to need probably to change their pricing model in some way so that they can start generating revenue, because I just don't see how Kick can be making money as it is. I just don't understand it. And nobody does. Nobody knows. Like, if Microsoft couldn't figure it out, if Amazon can't figure it out, what makes you think that some gambling website has magically figured out how to make this profitable? I would say if you think that they've just got some magic ability to do it, I'd say you are very gullible. Eventually, something will have to change. Otherwise, they're just going to keep losing money perpetually. And that is not how businesses work. Unless you're a tech company. But for that, you need investors to keep shoveling cash in. And my understanding is that Stake does not have investors shoveling cash in like that. Yeah, bring back MySpace. YouTube did the same thing. Unless you get 1,000 subs, you can't start monetizing the videos. They're wasting money by processing small checks. I mean, the unfortunate reality is that for these platforms, especially with live content, I'm not involved in it. I don't know what AWS costs. I won't pretend to. But my understanding is that it is very expensive to enable worldwide live video content to anybody, like anybody at all. And that's what Twitch offers. That's what YouTube offers, TikTok, all of these groups. But they don't start promising you money. Twitch tries to like avoid that too with like affiliates. You need affiliate. YouTube has the threshold of, like you said, 1,000 subs and then like 10,000 views or something like that. TikTok, I don't know what their guidelines are, but there's all these limitations, so at least they don't have to start paying you, but it still costs them money. And frankly, you probably are costing them more money by streaming than they're making off of you with those mid-roll ads or pre-rolls. So I don't know. I think Destiny streams mostly on YouTube and Rumble. Oh, Destiny's on Kick. He's a pretty big audience. My understanding was Destiny streams like for a couple of hours just on Kick, and then he co-streams everywhere else, like on Rumble and YouTube at the same time, and then merges all the chats together. Which honestly is not a bad idea. If I could figure out a way to do that, we'd probably check that out. Can I play Fortnite for a stream? Probably for a members only stream. I'd be down for that. Nikki and I have been playing it, having good fun. I do no build though. I don't do that building stuff. I'm not 12, but no build, I could get down with that. Let's see. Are you going to review Diablo 4? Your measured reviews rival the best on the platform. Thank you. First of all, makes me keep coming back to games I haven't played or games I must avoid. I am not totally sure, Rohan, because I am not a power Diabloer. I'm not somebody that like spends hundreds of hours grinding it in the first month or two. So I'm not sure when I will feel ready to make a video on it. And honestly, by the time that I finish it and feel ready to make a video on it, it might not be like a big point of conversation anymore, you know, because it'll probably take me a month or two. Twitch's new guidelines will affect esports more than individual streamers. Probably, but let's be real. Part of the reason this is so frustrating for everybody is because everybody has the feeling that this is going to be selectively enforced. Some streamers are going to get permabanned for having a banner on their stream, and other people are going to get away with it for years. And like big esports, it won't be enforced, and it's because it's such an like unprofessional platform that there's very little, if any, consistency in how they apply the rules. Does combining platforms not hurt the creators because said platforms prefer to be the main ones? Usually they can't tell. Twitch will like straight up ban you if you're a Twitch partner and you are streaming on like co-streaming on YouTube and stuff. So there's that, but YouTube doesn't seem to care. Kick, Rumble, they don't care. They're just glad that you're on the platform. And frankly, like if we were co-streaming on YouTube, on Rumble, on Kick, all at the same time, you could just watch wherever you prefer, and then if we can merge the chats on screen like this, I think it would achieve the goal. And then if you just like the viewer on Kick more or on Twitch more or whatever, you could do that. And if you want to like become a member or sub on Kick to give me a bigger cut, then you could do that. But like honestly, at some point it just becomes more about the exposure, which is more what I'd be interested in. How do you enforce the banner thing? Have snitches in the chat? Yeah, they do that. Drew Beats, they straight up do that. They have Twitch employees and moderators, like community managers, I think is what they call them. They just go through streams and make sure you're not like jerking it or killing somebody, like, or watching porn on stream. They just like go through constantly checking for that sort of thing. No baby yet, shake and bake, no baby yet. We are still waiting. I just wish YouTube had a better way to discover live channels. They did do something where they have the little like profile picture. There's the circle that says live around it. So they improved that. That's a little better. So they sort of improved that, but. Do you guys want to see the new trailer for the day before? They dropped a trailer. So if you guys don't remember, the day before was the game that up until like, I think it was March. Was it supposed to come out in March? I think. Anyway, we got like right to the release date, and then they went silent. They delisted the game from Steam, said that they basically had some sort of legal issue that made it so they couldn't just like release the game, even though it was basically done. It's very, very weird, very suspicious. And then it came out that like all of the people working on this game are volunteers. Like there isn't really a studio behind it. The whole thing is just bizarre. And I'm about to show you a trailer that they just released an hour ago that is more baffling than I ever expected them to manage to pull off. The description of what we're about to watch is: watch this new trailer confirming the day before release date. Take a fast ride through the streets of the apocalypse in this latest The Day Before trailer for the upcoming open world MMO survival game set in a deadly post-pandemic America overrun by flesh-hungry infected and survivors killing each other for food, weapons, and cars. The Day Before will be available on November 10th. You ready? That's the whole trailer for their zombie survival game. Dude, you can't make this up. You can't make it up. It's like, what on earth are we doing here? You can just drive like, I don't know what kind of car this is supposed to be, like a Lambo maybe? I don't know cars. Okay. Like, this is the whole thing. And then it just says, get ready for the best survival experience of the year. In a race car, I don't understand, dude. I don't get it. None of this makes any sense. Okay, none of this makes any sense. So they apparently have that coming soon. I don't even know. I don't even know. So that's great. They're literally trolling everybody. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trolling. I don't know how you do that again with an honest, like honestly thinking that that's going to win people over. Like, I have no idea. Identity crisis, maybe. I don't recall them showing like race cars and stuff in previous gameplay. Maybe I'm just not aware. But like, this is the previous gameplay they revealed. And they never show like race cars. They show you driving like a Jeep at one point. Like a 4x4. But like, race cars have never been a thing. Yeah, like we got a little Humvee looking thing you can drive. But I don't recall any of this, like race car stuff. Totally real developers, we promise. Red X, that is funny. I'll give him that. Just the whole thing is bizarre. And so now they're sharing a trailer after being silent for months, when it was supposed to release months ago, showing like Lambos in the game. Like, what? No part of this makes sense. The whole thing is like an acid trip. It's so weird. I don't get it. I feel like I'm missing something massive, and I think everybody is, because it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I remember hearing about this years ago. People being like, oh, well, actually, it's the most wishlisted game on Steam, so it's going to be really good. People are really excited. And I would always ask people, why is it so wishlisted? And nobody could ever really explain it. And I'm starting to wonder if they just like paid for bots to go and wishlist the game en masse, and that boosted it in the rankings, and people started talking about it for that, and then that sort of helped it grow. But man, it's just so weird. The whole game is bizarre. You better believe when it comes out, if it's free, I'll want to check it out. If it's not free and they're going to charge money for it, I probably will. I don't know. I'll try to get a review code or something. I just don't want to give them any money, you know? I don't want to give them any money. Because this is clearly a scam. I don't know. Do you think because the ass fell out of NFTs, it doesn't know how to monetize it anymore? Did they initially say it was going to be monetized like that? That it was going to have NFTs? I don't know. Okay, so real quick, you are right. Guys, I have to do the drawing for the person I'm going to give a free AAA game to. So for those of you who did not see the video from yesterday, we went back, we tried Gotham Knights again to see if it was ever fixed and everything. Sort of, it runs better, but it's still just not a very good game. But I said in the video, put hashtag gimme and I'll give you a free game. And then Jacob did this. Select one of those randomly and you can pick a full price game of your choice and I will send it to you for being a watcher and a fan. So do that. That's all I got. I probably should have like more sorted rules, but honestly, just comment and I'll pick one of you guys and I'll send you a game because I want to give back a little bit for making my dreams a reality, right? Isn't that what this is all about? Isn't that the whole thing?
Hey everyone, quick editor's note. It turns out hashtag gimme is being used by St. Jude's Children's Hospital for a donation drive. So we actually are going to change our hashtag name to get the free AAA title to Baby Want Milky. So if you put hashtag Baby Want Milky in the comment section, that is how we'll choose the winner. Baby Want Milky, luckily for us, wasn't taken. I would have assumed it's pretty highly sought after, but just one more time, not hashtag gimme, hashtag Baby Want Milky.
And people did it. People commented Baby Want Milky. So out of all the comments, I went down and I scrolled through all of them. So we have all of these. Hundreds and hundreds of comments. So out of all of these, you can see some people did at Baby Want Milky, some people just did hashtag. So just to be safe, I'm just going to do the search for Baby Want Milky. There's 44 instances of that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a random number generator. And we're going to select between 1 and 44. And then we're going to hit generate. And yeah, let's see. Between 1 and 44, big money. 10. Okay. It's hard to argue with this. Like we're trying to be as transparent with this as we can be. We'll do it live. So now we're going to go down to the 10th one and see whose that was. And they will get it. Yes, man. Right? Yeah, it's the orange one. Yes, man. Give me 004. I appreciate your honesty about the reviews when you take money from the company like this. Okay, so yes, man. Yes, man got it. Let me swap over. I am signed into Luke Stevens Live. So he's going to be like, what? Luke Stevens Live. So swap over to this account. And then the Yes Man account. Yes, congrats, Mr. Man. Congrats, Mr. Man, indeed. Comments. Yes, man. Nope, that didn't work. There we go. Congrats! You win. We just drew your name live on stream. So please, how do I do this? What's the best way to do this? Maybe Hopefully he gets Gollum. Heard it's pretty good. I don't know. What's the best way to do it? Is it to have him reach out to me? Otherwise, we're gonna get like slammed by people. Do. Well, I feel bad asking him for his email, because if I ask him for his email, then other people might reach out and like email him, you know? The best way is just to choose me. He doesn't even know he won yet. And my team, I'm going to ask him to verify. I'm not running into that thing we ran into last time. So please email me and my team. And then it's verified so he knows that it's me. Okay. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Sorry. Fun little diatribe. Fun little side piece. Okay. Yeah. Email me to claim your new PS5. Yeah, it was not the cleanest giveaway, but what are you gonna do? It was off the cuff. He says he wants Diablo, so we'll get the fella Diablo. We can do that. We can do that. We'll manage it. So anyway, that days before thing is freaking hilarious. Let's see. Twist. He lives in some remote region of the world and he can only send mail by carrier pigeon. Honestly, if I had a pigeon show up at my front door, be like, hey, it's me, the guy that won the giveaway, I would give him 2 games. Be like, that's amazing. Let's do it. This one, I want to talk about this because I am not up to date on any of the Bethesda stuff, any of the leaks, nothing at all. I have no idea what's going on. So I want to check out some of this stuff, and it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. So I'm gonna put this link in chat so you guys can follow. Make sure to like the stream, everybody. By the way, we got like 400 people in here, so please like the stream. That helps. And then I'll shut up and I'll leave you guys alone. So there's the link to this video we're gonna go through. Let's check it out from the one, the only Juicehead, who I'm told is a very good Bethesda creator. Let's see what he's got to say.
7 days away from the Xbox and Bethesda 2023 Summer Showcase. And we basically know at this point that we are going to be seeing some pretty incredible game reveals at this. There's big things like Starfield already being concretely confirmed, but also as we approach big events like this one, there's also just a ton of leaks dropping. So in this video, I want to take you through some of the absolutely outlandish, but also some incredibly plausible leaks around Xbox and Bethesda to pop up over the past couple of weeks, and even some in just the past few days. We're looking at leaks ranging from new Starfield detail.
I still really want the leather jacket. It's a gamble though. If I buy that jacket and then he's not wearing it, I'm gonna look like a chump. I'm just gonna look like a guy sitting in a chair in a cold room. Not really cold, in a hot room, really. In a leather jacket for some reason while watching a showcase. Do I want to risk it? It would be really funny. Really funny if I ended up wearing pretty much exactly what Todd is wearing during the Starfield showcase. If only I knew somebody who could be like, hey, Todd, what are you wearing? That would be awesome.
Fallout New Vegas 2 being a reality and being revealed at this showcase, and perhaps even Xbox teasing one of the most anticipated RPGs making a big appearance here. But who I do have some beef with is all of these fake leakers, misleading fans just weeks before the...
This one was funny, because what was it that they had in here? They had something in here that was just really bizarre. Halo Tatanka, Fallout New Vegas 2. I think that's one where it was like, what? Midnight TBA. Just like, okay. I don't know. I get it. People enjoy making stuff up. It's fun. We pulled this up on stream because I was like trying to get an idea of what games Xbox fans are expecting and are kind of hoping for. Because they put some in here that are kind of layups. Like, okay, Avowed, Starfield, Fable, State of Decay, Hollow Knight. Okay, yeah, all of those would make sense to see. Halo Blade or Hellblade. All of those make sense. But then he tosses in a couple of these like Fallout New Vegas 2. Scalebound. Okay.
The big reveal. And while I would
Also, question: are people like actually still simping on Scalebound? Because that's like years ago. Like I see people mention it all the time, and I'm still baffled that people talk about it. Like, am I just not in the loop? Kinda. They should make a game. I don't even know what that is. Okay, so I'm not alone because I don't understand why people are still like, I hope they reboot it. I hope they bring it back and restart development. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, okay, what is it? It's like a canceled game from years and years ago that they were making and then they canceled it and walked away. I think I could probably just quickly before we get too, tied up. Scalebound, just so you guys can see what I'm referring to. Yes, 7 years ago is when it was shown off.
Ask me to.
And it was this like dragon fighting game. I think it was from Platinum Games. Like maybe 7-8 years ago when this dropped in 2015, it looked more compelling. But frankly, I look at this and I'm like, no, I'm kind of okay that they canceled it. Honestly, I'd rather focus on other things, but I don't know. Some people went hard for it and still talk about it to this day. It's really weird.
like to roast them like an Ohio chicken. I just don't see them getting into the ring.
An Ohio chicken? Is that a turn of phrase?
Leakers, misleading fans just weeks before the big reveal. And while I would like to roast them like an Ohio chicken,
I feel like such a boomer. Is that a thing? Am I just like not in the loop? Am I really about to Google Ohio chicken? Ohio chicken. Ohio chicken meme. Is that a meme? I'm getting like websites that are actual like Ohio poultry. Ohio.gov. The Poultry Ohio Department of Health. Like, is this a meme? Just an Ohio chicken. Okay. I'm Boomer Luke. I love it. I know, right? I feel so out of the loop when I watch these young whippersnappers making videos on this stuff. I'm like, what is he talking about? Bring me the landline.
don't see them getting into the ring with me. So instead, let's face off in the best tower defense game in the world right now. Thanks to today's video sponsor, Rush Royale. Rush Royale is this incredibly fun combo of tower defense where you're going to defend against waves of...
Rush Royale. Wow, dude. He's making bank with that. And nobody cares. I've never tried Rush Royale. I don't know. Maybe it is really fun. I do like tower defense games. I will be honest. Allegedly, in high school, I may have played... Here, I'll move my camera. If you want to download it to support Juicehead, you can do that. Let me get the thing to clear off. But you can scan that QR code. Help a brother out. But in high school, allegedly, I might have played some tower defense games during the computer class because, like, the teacher, all he would talk about was, like, how to copy and paste stuff, how to select multiple cells in an Excel spreadsheet. Like, it was the most bare bones basic thing ever. And I was like, come on, guys. Come on. Wait, was that Jake? What was that? Jake Paul is a hero. In one live stream clip, I like kind of skipped through the ad read the person was doing. I just wasn't thinking about it. I just skipped through it because when I'm watching videos and I see an ad, a lot of time I'll just skip through it, whatever. But people are like, hey, that's not cool. Help them out, show it, leave it on screen. Okay. And I don't want to make fun of this one because I'm sure he's getting his bag, but Jake Paul as a playable character in this game. Okay.
Available to unlock until July 29th, so install Rush Royale for free using my link in the video description or scan the QR code on screen and experience the unique abilities of Jake Paul's hero in tower defense. And you'll even get a special Master Chest bonus with useful rewards which can be exchanged for a legendary card. But hurry up to get the hero and Master Chest as the event is.
Is this like his game? Does he own this? Dude, if I did this ad, you guys would roast me alive. Am I wrong? I feel like you guys would tease the crap out of me for doing this. And probably rightly so.
Limited. But on a high level, one of the Xbox/Bethesda showcase leaks that does genuinely seem promising comes from Extra1STV on Twitter. This user claims that they heard of 2 unexpected game announcements that are going to be made at the Xbox showcase that are going to leave fans with their jaws on the ground and just in general speechless. Still,
This type of leak always is so cringe to me. It's just somebody saying, oh man, I'm receiving information that everyone's gonna love what they show. Cool, dude. Dry up. I don't give a shit. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Okay, cool story, bro. Like, go away. Like, this is not helpful. This doesn't tell us anything. And then after the showcase, if it's not that impressive, he's going to go, yeah, they didn't show the thing I was told they were going to show. And then if they do show something that excites people, he's going to be like, yeah, I told you. See, my prediction was right. This is the most useless kind of thing, but people and fanboys still talk about it all the time.
still a lot of time when you're going into an event with a high-level, vague statement like this, it's just textbook overhyping. Although with
I
this
agree.
particular leaker, they've actually gotten quite a bit right in the past. They did successfully leak an upcoming Switch remake over a month before it was announced, and perhaps even more importantly, a gameplay clip of the upcoming game from Hideo Kojima. I'm not going to show you this because this video will almost certainly get taken down if I show you that leaked gameplay clip, but that's particularly relevant here as this game is said to be taking full advantage of Xbox Cloud technology. So this leaker coming back around saying he heard 2 big unexpected games are at the Xbox showcase does seem a bit more plausible. They clearly at least had some sources in or around Xbox in the past. Although of course that also leaves the big question, what 2 games could be announced or revealed here that are going to leave fans with their jaws on the floor? Obviously anything that's a surprise around Fallout would be a huge deal, although I would definitely caution around this one. Just because they're going to be big and unexpected announcements to this leaker doesn't mean it's going to hit the same way for the rest of us. Perhaps they didn't know that Fallout 4 was getting a next-gen update. It seems pretty likely we'll get at least a trailer around that at this showcase, and if they didn't know that, that could seem like a huge and unexpected reveal, even though most of us have been following that pretty closely now. Either way, it's definitely an interesting one, although definitely be careful with not getting yourself overhyped once again. But one of the other pretty interesting and most often faked category of leaks is the entire lineup of the showcase being shared. You always get these shaky photos that are partially cut off with some common predictions, but also a few outlandish ones in
Dead Static Drive, is that Persona 3 remake? Is that what that's supposed to be? Persona 3. Okay, I don't know. That would be crazy. Replaced Avowed, Exoprimal, Flintlock, Silksong, Hellblade 2, Starfield, Age of Empires, Lies of P. I don't know, man.
intermixed. They're presented as an official list of what games are going to be at the showcase.
By the way, I saw somebody asking why all of these leaks, the real ones and the fake ones, are always taken on cell phones. It's because if you were to like right click and like download the image, save the image to your PC, if you were like given a say a slideshow and then you saved that, put it on a thumb drive and then or emailed it to yourself, that has metadata tied up in it and they'd be able to track it back to you. Whereas if you just take a picture on your phone and then do like a screenshot of the phone, or you do like take a picture of the phone and then you upload it to an online service and then link that online service, like the Discord image, for example, to another thing to upload it that way, you can dump the metadata usually. So apparently there's a reason most leakers tend to take kind of wobbly, weird looking photos like this. It's super annoying if you're trying to see what is actually being shown, but
intermixed.
There's a
They're
reason
presented
for
as an
it.
official list of what games are going to be at the showcase, because apparently Xbox just maintains lists like this that a bunch of employees have access to. And now for 2023, we actually did get a few of these, and although there are some interesting parts, you can almost always assume these are going to be fake. We had one such list that does say that The Evil Within 3 is going to be shown at the Xbox showcase this year. The Evil Within 3 is probably coming at some point. It was seemingly teased in Ghostwire Tokyo, at least according to some fans, although we also just got Ghostwire Tokyo, like literally last year, with an Xbox re-release earlier this year. And of course, we also got Hi-Fi Rush earlier this year. Both of those games were made by Tango Gameworks, the same devs behind The Evil Within 3, so I'd have a pretty hard time believing they'd be ready to show more already. But what is even wilder on this list is Fallout London reportedly at the official Xbox showcase. It's not really clear if this means they bought out the mod. There's this constant narrative in the community that Bethesda should hire entire mod teams. So perhaps this leak is alluding to the fact that that actually happened, or just in general, Fallout London is technically set to release at some point in 2023. So perhaps this leaker is claiming that Xbox is going to give them a big platform.
it is amazing that modders can get like train systems working and vehicles working in their games. And BGS is just like, I don't know, man, we can't even get the frame rate above 30 for a showcase. So, you know, it's just amazing to me. I understand there's a difference between like getting something working for a mod that's really unstable and getting like a full release ready. I understand there's a difference there, but still, it's what those modders are able to do is just phenomenal. What's Fallout London? Fallout London is like, it's a mod project. If you're not familiar with it, I don't know when the last thing they shared was, but Fallout London is actually pretty cool. And it's basically an ambitious trailblazing
Luke
DLC.
9K super chatted $5.
Oh baby, Luke,
Carrier
thank
pigeon
you.
arrives. Can I have the hidden and unknown, please? LMAO.
That's funny. The carrier pigeon came out. Thank you for the 5. So yeah, it's a DLC sized mod for Fallout 4, and it is aiming to take place in London, from stuffy parliamentary aristocrats to a resurrection of the Knights of the Round Table to an uncompromising cult of revolutionaries and more. Fallout London embodies the history and aesthetics of London and puts unmistakably nuclear spin on the beloved city. So, really interesting mod. I don't know, releases maybe. When's the last thing they put out? They've been working on some stuff, but it's, let's just say it's not moving quickly, and I think they've been quiet for a while now. I might be wrong, but I think they've been quiet for a while. But anyway, it's a really interesting and ambitious mod, and people were saying maybe Xbox and Bethesda bought out the mod team and hired them on to make this an actual thing. Who knows if that's actually a thing? I have no idea. No idea.
Platform to showcase things, despite the fact that the mod won't actually be available on an Xbox. You could only play it on PC. And as cool as something like that would be, I would say it's almost certain that this is another fake list. Although funny enough, this is definitely one of the more probable lists of the bunch, featuring things like the Evil Within 3 and Fallout London make it seem incredibly unlikely. Just because Bethesda hired a couple of Fallout London team members doesn't mean that the entire mod will suddenly be showcased at the big summer event. Although we also got this much more fun Tilted and Cut Off leak that has some pretty wild assertions on it. Reportedly Fable and Wolfenstein 3 are going to be at the Xbox showcase. Fable in general is a toss-up. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later in this video, but Wolfenstein 3 just seems wild.
It's a toss-up. I'm interested to hear why he thinks it's a toss-up, because that that video they posted on social media of the glitter everywhere, I don't know how you take that as anything other than Fable. Maybe there's some other something that's full of glitter, but that to me seemed very Fable, especially with the music. But maybe he's got info.
Machine Games, the developers of Wolfenstein, are working on that Indiana Jones game that Todd Howard is executive producing. I've a really hard time imagining they share details on Wolfenstein 3 before Indiana Jones. There have been some recent job listings to suggest that Wolfenstein 3 could be actively in development, but you have to imagine it's a bit early in development, while the Indiana Jones game is probably much further along, and if anything, I would expect to see Indiana Jones here. Not saying that's confirmed, but definitely seems more probable to me than seeing Wolfenstein 3 already. Not to mention that this leak also lists Bethesda Softworks as the developer of Wolfenstein 3, which is just wrong.
Oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's a dum-dum.
Publisher, Machine Games, is the developer of that one. But what makes this leak way more fun is reportedly Fallout New Vegas 2 will be shown here as well, along with Cyberpunk 2077's DLC. And apparently that DLC is also getting a 3-month timed exclusive for Xbox. Fallout New Vegas 2, according to this leak, is coming from Obsidian, and it's going to be an Xbox exclusive, which would just be absolute insanity. Obsidian is already working on not only Avowed, but also the Outer Worlds 2. But despite that, they still somehow found time to get Fallout New Vegas 2 out the door in just 2 years. And I guess all of those quotes about Obsidian wanting to work on another Fallout game were just a big facade and a cool cover by the CEO. So yeah, it's fake. I mean, Fallout New Vegas 2 could happen one day, but one, I don't think it would actually be called Fallout New Vegas 2.
Luke 9K
agree, I don't
super
think it would be
chatted
either.
$5. If you give Jedi Survivor another go, you should try it with some of the mods my mod team has been doing. Really makes it feel a bit more fresh.
Oh, interesting. I have been replaying a good chunk of it because we're working on the critique. So I've been playing it, but I haven't messed around with mods or anything so far. But I'd be interested in hearing what those mods are like. Like, quality of life would be great because it needs a good number of quality of life improvements. Different bosses and stuff, that could be really cool. I don't know. I'd be interested in hearing what you're working on.
Think anyone really wants a direct sequel of Fallout New Vegas with the same characters, and it really seems like this is going to be based off the fact that New Vegas 2 did in fact pop up in an official capacity as a branch for Fallout 4 a couple of months ago that we could see on SteamDB. This was an interesting one in that this was seemingly done by somebody at Bethesda. It's their official SteamDB. It's not like anybody could just get access to this. Thus far, I've just largely assumed it was a troll by Bethesda. They can name these branches anything. In the past, they've actually named them Arrow and Knee, poking fun at the Skyrim meme. But who knows? Maybe something as far as Creation Club content around the next-gen version is in the works around New Vegas content, but a full-on New Vegas 2 just seems incredibly unlikely, or at least not happening anytime soon. And of course,
I don't know if they did, like, for the next gen update, if they had like Fallout New Vegas remastered in the Fallout 4 engine and it was just like a little $10 add-on or something, I think that would be a layup for easy money. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. But I agree. I don't know why on earth they would call it Fallout New Vegas 2. Unless it is just like, watch the internet explode while I do this. And then they type it in just to be funny. That's pretty hardcore trolling if we're being real. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it is actually Fallout New Vegas, or maybe they were just trolling. If that's a troll, that is evil.
Of course, with all of that
In like
in
a
mind,
fun
all of those
way.
leaks were around a Bethesda game, Fallout 4, and this new leak claims it's coming from Obsidian, which just doesn't make any sense at all. The Cyberpunk 2077 DLC listing is definitely a bit more interesting to me. Not the fact that it's on this list, because one, this is an expansion, not a DLC. CDPR clearly differentiates between the two. DLCs are free, and this list is pretty much all fake. I mean, even as just a simple example, they couldn't even spell Silksong correctly. But I have been increasingly suspecting that Phantom Liberty, the upcoming Cyberpunk
That's actually intentional. They're renaming it because Slick Song sounds really slick.
2077 expansion would be at the Xbox Showcase and not
I was kind of hoping he would have new leaks to show. I mean, this is stuff we looked at weeks and weeks ago. But maybe later in the video he has new stuff.
Summer Game Fest. Phantom Liberty will have a hands-on at Summer Game Fest Playdays, and get subscribed because I'm flying out to California just to play Phantom Liberty. Playdays is almost going to be like a familiar trade show, but it's going to be an in-person, media-only event. This is taking place slightly after the Summer Game Fest presentation, which you probably are all already familiar with from the past years they've done it. Thus far, in all of the marketing material, CDPR hasn't said they're necessarily at Summer Game Fest, but very specifically listed it as being at Summer Game Fest Playdays, which makes me wonder if the Phantom Liberty trailer, this big trailer many of us are anticipating, isn't actually going to be at the Summer Game Fest stream, and instead will be at the Xbox stream a few days later. Does any of this really matter? Not really. I just want to give this as a bit of a forewarning. If you watch Summer Game Fest and Phantom Liberty isn't there, don't freak out. It'll probably just be at the Xbox show a few days later. And lastly, a more iconic leak, we do have a tilted blurry picture with a bunch of logos that is also almost certainly fake. This one's honestly not even that outlandish. Like, I would be surprised if many of the games we see here will almost certainly be at the showcase. It's a lot of safe bets, at least relatively speaking. But I think the big giveaway is that they're using the Persona 3 portable logo. With this, they're trying to claim that Persona 3 is getting a remake, and that's going to be revealed here, but they're using the wrong logo. So that just seems like a big error. Plus, why on earth would an image like this exist? Why would Xbox be creating an image with all of the logos of the upcoming reveals? That just seems like a really bad idea. It's not like things like this are ever shared publicly. We get to see all the trailers at the event. We don't get a list like this coming out beforehand. And if you're looking at all of these being a bit disappointed, there are some more realistic predictions out there. This isn't a leak, but it's just more likely what's going to be shown off at the showcase, and it's a prediction coming from Clobriel. On here, you can see a lot of common assumptions. Minecraft's ray tracing update that has been rumored, Avowed, Hellblade 2, and even a new Age of Mythology, but also a few more of the hopeful things, like a potential reveal of In Exile's upcoming game. In Exile's new game is something to get excited for. This is going to be a pretty big AAA RPG from a veteran RPG dev, but it seems like this is the game they can make where they finally have a budget. Microsoft bought them out, and they're able to now create a first-person RPG, and I feel like this could really be something special, a game that you see the trailer of and it immediately becomes your most anticipated video game. But from here, let's round things a little bit more and look at some of the more recent leaks to come out that are actually true, at least probably. Right off the bat, we got official confirmation that Bethesda Softworks will actually be at the showcase. There's some genuine concern from fans that the Xbox Summer Showcase wouldn't actually feature Bethesda outside of Starfield due to the naming. The past couple of years, we've seen the name being the Xbox and Bethesda Summer Showcase, but this year it's just Xbox. But in a recent post about the event, Xbox says the Xbox Game Showcase is your look at new games from Xbox Game Studios, Bethesda, leading creators, and partners from around the globe. And just recently, we even saw a video of the VP of Games Marketing at Xbox at the Bethesda Softworks HQ. So it seems like we're definitely going to be seeing some Bethesda games, not just Starfield.
I mean, what else are we? I mean, they probably are bringing Fallout 4 next gen, so I think we see that. But I don't know what else BGS would have to show. As for Bethesda Softworks, yeah, they're gonna have tons of Bethesda Softworks stuff, I'm sure. I don't see what that's like that crazy. I don't know.
For example, Hi-Fi Rush is almost certainly getting a DLC, and we'll probably hear about it, maybe even get to play it during or after the showcase. Hi-Fi Rush was shadow dropped at the Developer Direct earlier this year, and in that received tons of praise from fans and critics. It's really been one of the most notable successes from Xbox thus far this year. Enough of a success that it's very likely getting a DLC. 10 new to-be-announced achievements were just added to the game on Steam. These are hidden, but can be seen via SteamDB. And these new achievements feel very in line with a DLC for the game. With how much success they had shadow dropping the entire game the first time around, I think it just makes sense that a DLC would also be shadow dropped. And of course, the Xbox Showcase would be the perfect time to do that. Although technically nothing's really confirmed around that, it could just be revealed at the event and then released later on, but it just doesn't feel like that would be right. One of the other really big games we've been waiting for from Bethesda is the new ZeniMax Online Studios MMO. We know this game is big. They've opened numerous new studios in the past few years, and just in general, there are several years of dev time with quite a few devs on this one. But a variety of new job listings that went up around this game reveal a ton of additional details that got me pretty hyped, and I think as a result, you'll be pretty hyped. It's going to be an MMO built on Unreal Engine. It's going to be multi-platform, likely both Xbox and PC, but it's also going to be an open-world RPG set in third person with a focus on combat and exploration. And one of these job listings mentions being comfortable with a development schedule that is playtest driven. This could mean internal playtesting, but with how long this game has been in development, it also could mean a beta coming in the not-so-distant future, perhaps.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they announce it and then they're like, yeah, and we have a playtest launching in August. Makes sense. 4 years in development, you're probably ready for some playtests. Makes sense to me. And it is compelling that they have launched a bunch of new studios. It's also important to note that while I'm not really into ESO, ZeniMax Online apparently did a pretty good job with it. There are some people that swear by ESO, so it could be good. Could be good. Who knows?
later this summer. Either way, we know this game is big and it definitely sounds exciting to me. We don't really know exactly what it is outside of some kind of new IP. And I wouldn't be shocked if both Starfield and this new ZeniMax Online Studios game, if it's finally revealed, really steal the show for a lot of fans. And then there's giant monster news. This is one of the stories that is actually not a story, but it got enough attention and media coverage that I feel like I need.
Kappa. This is one I'm very conflicted on.
Kappa Claus super chatted $5.
Yeah.
$100
Let me see if I can find
says
it.
Starfield gonna launch at 30 frames with no performance mode.
Phil Spencer on. There was a clip from the interview that Phil Spencer did. Let me see if I can find through the actual like transcript. Can we expect now 60? Worshiping a couple weeks ago, in the game come out. Official response.
60 frames per second.
In this interview, he specifically said something that made me think they've got to be revealing 60 FPS for Starfield. They've got to
And then we
be.
weren't shipping 60 frames per second. That was kind of our punch in the chin, rightfully, a couple weeks ago. And then seeing the game come out and the critical response was not what we wanted. And it's disappointing. And so
Hold on. IG is showing the game running 60. Yeah, this is about Redfall. I thought he talked. Maybe it's not here. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, listen to
Should
this.
Xbox players expect a clear message this summer with Starfield with 30 and 60 frames? That's a big lesson learned, as you brought up.
Should gamers expect at the showcase a clear message with Starfield for 30 versus 60 FPS?
Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day.
yeah,
Okay, that's a great.
Yeah. I don't know if that reaction is, yeah, we're going to tell you. And he's like, you're going to find out at 60. You're going to be so happy. It's going to be awesome. Or that is him going, yep. Because he knows it can only run at 30. Let me play it back, watch his face, and then we're going to do a poll. I want to see what the majority of you guys think. Off of body language, how he presents it. Because basically, he only says yeah, and this is pure speculative nonsense. Isn't this great? It's like the good old days where we're just making a video, making shit up. But with this, let's evaluate his body language and try to figure out if this is, yeah, you'll get a clear answer and you're not going to like it. Or if this is, yeah, it's going to be cool. You're going to like what you hear. Okay.
Kappa Claus super chatted $5. Yeah, plus side I equals number 60 frames.
Brought up.
Let's see what people think.
Should we expect that answer? It's clear as day.
yeah.
Okay, that's.
Yeah. He also reopened his mouth like he was going to say something more, but then caught
As you
himself.
brought up, should we expect that answer? It's clear as day.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great one.
His eyes darted around a little. To me, this comes off as I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would bet probably no. I think it's probably 30 on console. That's my opinion. But let's see what you think. Start a poll. Yeah. Yeah. Is Starfield getting 60 FPS on console? Yes or no, baby? No, not Stanfield. Starfield. Okay, let's see what you think. I'm actually quite interested. Stanfield. For some people, it's basically Stanfield. Well, okay, let's see what you guys think. Because I would understand if you saw that body language and you went, yeah, no, I think he's like, yeah, we're going to give you a clear answer. I would also totally understand it. My impression is, yeah. It's like an uncomfortable yes. You know, that's my gut. But it's the Creation Engine 2.0, Luke. Yeah, dude, Jesus Christ. Oh God, hold on, docs, chat. There's chat. We trained in LA Noir exactly for this moment. Exactly. That's pretty much exactly what this is. Yeah. That's a Midwest, yeah, no. That's my impression. If you don't live in the Midwest of the US, there is a thing called the yeah, no. It's a thing for some reason we do where if the answer is no, but we're like kind of uncomfortable with it, we'll go, yeah, no. So we say both, but it's what you end on that matters. So, you know, no. So that's my gut feeling. 67% of you are saying no. 32%, not 68% are saying no. 32% are saying yes. I think the easiest layup for tons of applause is for them to drop at the start of the show. You're going to notice this whole showcase is running at 4K 60, and that's because we support 60 frames on Xbox Series X consoles. Easy layup. Yay! I would say if they don't mention it in the first 60 seconds, it doesn't have 60 frames. But I don't think Phil is going to let them like beat around the bush. I think he's going to force them to say very clearly what it is. They don't want a Redfall situation again.
Need to clarify why it's not a story. Giant Monster News is a trademark for what is very likely to be a mobile game that ZeniMax and Bethesda have been maintaining since early 2009. The process goes something like this. Bethesda files the trademark, can request extensions 5 times in a row, but since they haven't actually released any games, they can never finalize the trademark. So they run out of extensions, the trademark expires, and they immediately file a new one, which just starts the process over. And eventually when Giant Monster News does come out, they could finally establish the trademark for real and stop refiling over and over again. 2 weeks ago, people saw a new Bethesda trademark for Giant Monster News was filed, and a lot of people got really excited. But in reality, this is just another step in this exact same process that has been happening since 2009. I mean, in fact, this is the 5th time Bethesda has filed a trademark for Giant Monster News. Although, yeah, this could be the one time it's finally coming, it also doesn't really mean anything. The Xbox showcase being so close.
Giant Monster News. I have no idea what that means. Mr. Mo, I was getting a yeah, no, for sure vibe. Yeah, that's another Midwest thing. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Or like, what was the other thing I noticed the other day? I said it to Nikki, and then Nikki said it back to me, and I was like, wait, that didn't make any sense. We also say I don't know as like a filler instead of like or like we'll start sentences. I don't know. I think, and you guys will notice I do it a lot. I'm trying to work on it because it just doesn't make any sense. I'm talking about something I do know about, but I'll say I don't know. I think it's really weird. It's really weird.
Is completely irrelevant. This is the time when the trademark expired, and in turn, it's when they're filing the new one. And as far as what Giant Monster News is, we don't really know. The trademark lists a mobile game, so it's probably that, but outside of that, we don't really know. It's really just a name that Bethesda is holding on to. Although one of the other leaks that is unfortunately very real is around Stalker 2. This is a bit of a bizarre situation. It seems like the devs behind Stalker 2 were using torrents to share early builds of the game internally. Although unfortunately, one of these was cached to the public, and in turn, users were able to download that torrent, and in turn, basically just download an early copy of Stalker 2. Now, fortunately, this was encrypted, but unfortunately, it seems like largely due to the ongoing conflict in the world and the Stalker 2 devs being based in Ukraine, their game being leaked online, even if encrypted, made them a major target for hackers, who very quickly got past the encryption, and as a result, there's now a bunch of Stalker 2 images and gameplay shared online of this early build. This is a 100% legit and real leak. So now, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to show any of this, not only limited, but on a high level.
God,
Xbox
I accidentally clicked. I'm so sorry.
got me pretty hyped, and I think as a result, you'll be cool. But since they haven't actually released any games, they can never filed, and a lot of people got builds of the game internally. Hackers who very quickly got past the encryption, and as a result, there's now a bunch of Stalker 2 images and gameplay shared online of this early build. This is a 100% legit and real leak. So now for obvious reasons, I'm not going to show any of this. Not only would it get the video taken down, but it also just feels dirty. I don't want to cover or showcase leaks like this. Stalker 2 is in this really weird spot right now where it was originally set to drop in 2022, but due to the conflict in Ukraine, many devs went to literal battle and the game was delayed, understandably. The current release window is set for December 2023, but of course this may end up getting pushed yet again. It seems pretty likely we'll see or hear more about Stalker 2 at the Xbox showcase, but at least as of right now, be careful, there are definitely leaks out there, and I really wouldn't seek them out. We're probably going to hear more in just a week's time, and I'd wait for that glamorous gameplay trailer rather than a bunch of crudely made gameplay footage. While that one is quickly becoming one of the most anticipated RPGs from Xbox, we could also see payouts at the showcase, and it's potentially already being teased by Xbox. They posted this video to get people hyped for the showcase, and the background music.
Yeah, this is where I'm like, I don't know how this is anything other than Fable. He said earlier he wasn't sold on Fable being there. I don't know how you interpret this as anything other than Fable, but let's see what he's got.
Music is actually the original Fable theme, just remixed, as well as you can see glitter all over that eventually forms a trail to the showcase cover art. Fable features a trail in-game that'll lead you to the next quest objective, just like a bunch of other games, and it does look a lot like glitter, so all of it taken together heavily implies a Fable presence at the Xbox showcase. We've gotten a teaser in the past, but really not much is known about the game, and in fact, many of the rumors around it suggest this one still is a ways away, so I'm curious to see what we see with Fable at the showcase, and Xbox definitely is being deliberate here. They're making people think Fable is coming. Whether or not it actually does, though, is a different story. They definitely made some mistakes in the past with accidentally teasing things that never really came to fruition. This one's pretty on the nose, though, so I feel like Fable has got to be there, or there's going to be a lot of very angry fans after the showcase, but something we are absolutely...
Did I just mishear him earlier? Did he not say he was iffy on it being there? Okay, I don't know. He just said it's definitely going to be there. Okay, I don't know what that was. Maybe I misheard him, but I could have sworn he was like, yeah, I'm kind of, I think he said I'm not sold or something like that on Fable being there, or I'm iffy on it being there, and then he just said...
This one's pretty on the nose, though, so I feel like Fable has got to be there.
Fable has got to be there.
Or there's going to be a lot of very angry fans after the showcase, but something we are absolutely going to be hearing more about at the showcase is Starfield, and we got some interesting leaks around this game as well. What is becoming one of the most bizarre leak stories around Starfield is with this custom controller. A few weeks ago, pictures of a custom controller popped up on Chinese...
Yeah, remember you guys were giving me crap, and then this guy found it in Target?
...social media, and it made the rounds. Although, it was largely concluded that this was just fan-made and not an actual product coming from Xbox or Bethesda. This largely due to the fact that the controller was posted by a Chinese reseller who has made other custom controllers in the past, so that listing was taken down shortly thereafter. So the general consensus was it looks amazing, but it's probably fake. Well, since then, a ton more images have surfaced of the controller, and this time it's in a more official looking packaging, detailing things like an interstellar grip to the controller that's going to be inspired by spaceship panel design, transparent triggers with a bronze motor within, and of course, it just being in the colors of Constellation, our primary faction in Starfield. I think for many, the box art popping up just kind of passed the sniff test, so they took this as real. It takes a lot of effort to make a controller, but it also takes a lot more effort to also make a box that looks realistic to go along with it. Although this saga doesn't actually stop here, as apparently there is also a headset on the way. No images for the...
Does he not have the video of the guy in the Target store that found it on the shelf? I guess not. Did he really? When was this posted? 2 days ago? I think 2 days ago is when we talked about it on stream. Or was it last week? Either way, I think... I don't know. I'm surprised he doesn't have that footage. Somebody found that controller in a Target...
headset have surfaced, but it seems like this was first rumored from a message in an
listed
Xbox
for
Era
sale.
live stream chat, which is a random place to have a leak like this. But more properly, we got rumors of a limited Xbox controller and headset by Deala Labs magazine and this user on Twitter. In early May, they reported hearing about a limited edition controller and headset coming to Xbox. These were codenamed, and later on they reported that they had to confirm that these two would actually be in the style of Starfield, and they corresponded to those leaks we had seen previously. Although, also according to the source, no limited edition console is planned. Despite the fact that Starfield-themed Xbox boxes have been seen in the wild, it looks like this may just be a new box design.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be the box, and it's a regular Series X console that comes with a game code. That's what they've done before for other stuff.
And not actually a new console design. Although it almost feels like we're running into the same problem again. Many people are just now taking this as being fat.
I saw someone say you can but the controller on the 12th. Or buy the controller on the
Actually,
12th.
it's almost like the same issue we had previously, and as far as I can tell, it's just really how much do you trust this individual? They're the main source saying this is real. Beyond this, it doesn't really seem like there's much concrete evidence to prove this is actually real and not just an elaborate fake. But also it just seems really plausible. It's very high quality, it's something a lot of users would be interested in, so it makes sense that Xbox would make something like this around Starfield. Although even beyond this, Starfield is reportedly getting some combat upgrades from id Software, that being the developers of Doom and the studio who played a major role in the combat upgrades we saw with Fallout 4. This is one of those leaks that you take with a big grain of salt, as it's literally just coming from a random 4chan post. In this, they say id Software has been working with Bethesda to overhaul the combat in Starfield. They joined the project back in August of last year. I have extremely close ties with an individual at id Software who reported this to me. The combat is in a vastly better state than it was during the Xbox showcase last year. I found this leak to be pretty interesting to me for two major reasons.
Please, dear God, yes. Please. Even Maddie, who I love dearly, Maddie is somebody who is like an age-old fan of Bethesda stuff. And even he was like, yeah, the combat gunplay didn't look great. Really didn't. So even like Xbox fans and stands are saying, yeah, the gunplay is not probably where it should be. So if this is true, that's awesome. I would not put much weight on a random guy posting anonymously to 4chan saying something, because that is literally useless. But if it is true, that would be great. That would be great.
So on one hand, many people just assume it's true. It already helped with the combat in Fallout 4, and it just kind of makes sense that they would help once again with Starfield, especially when you consider how much more is riding on this game being successful. But what I found a bit more interesting was how this leak suggests that id was brought in relatively late in development, which makes it sound like it was actually a response to fan back.
Why are people doing this? He's playing it at double. No, okay, I did it again. Jesus, I'm the problem. That was a roller coaster I just went in on. Okay, if you guys weren't here like 2 weeks ago when we talked about Starfield, basically a bunch of people on Twitter started posting videos of Starfield's like this gunplay sequence running at double speed. And people were like, see, the gunplay actually looks really, really good. And everybody in the comments was like, but dude, you're playing it at 2x speed. So like, this is not what the game looks like. And they played it at regular speed and it's way sluggish. And I just thought, I was like, oh my God, he's playing it at higher speed. It drives me crazy when people do this. And then I realized we were watching the video in 1.5 speed.
Backlash rather than something that was always
So
planned.
this is what
If
the
they
game
really were
actually
just
looks
added
like.
last August, that was just a couple of
But you see, like, people were going, just to show you what it's like, people were going and playing it at double speed like this and being like, wow, look, the combat looks so twitchy and so intense. This is actually really cool. Look at this. He's like sliding and zipping and wow, this looks awesome. And it's like, yeah, well, this is running at double speed. So this is not what the game will actually look like. But then you play it at regular speed and it's like, oh, never mind. Never mind. So all of that, I almost got upset for something I was doing because I'm a dumbass.
Flash rather than something that was always planned. If they really were just added last August, that was just a couple of months after the Starfield gameplay debut. So could this mean that perhaps one of these Starfield delays was actually caused by this? But overall, this is literally just some
Well, double speed would be 60 FPS, but double speed, like 60 FPS is not double speed. A game running in 60 FPS is not running at twice the speed in-game as 30 FPS. They should be running at the same in-game speed, just one has more subdivisions within the frame rate.
random 4chan post. You could go make one yourself right now in the exact same style, and we have no way of knowing if it's true or not. With that in mind, though, that's an update and a guide on some of the recent leaks to come out around the Xbox.
That's the whole video. Honestly, I'm actually quite disappointed. I was like braced for him to come swinging with some fresh stuff. There's a couple things like this. I wasn't aware of the DLC for Hi-Fi Rush. That's cool. But like all of this we've known about for months. This we've known about for months. The controller, I mean, this, he basically just said, yeah, they showed this glitter thing, which we've known for weeks. And then this controller has all been confirmed because people have seen it in Target on the shelves, which I don't know how somebody just fakes that. They're in the Target store and behind the locked glass box is this. They would have to have somebody they know, or they would have to work at Target, have one of those keys, put the product in there, lock it, change their outfit, and then film it like they're a customer just coming across it. And then in addition to all of that, it would have to be a really, really good fake like this that also is perfectly in tune with the other leaks that people have been posting for, like, the, you know, boxes in the UK. So like this one's been all but confirmed. The hollow triggers are actually the one thing that would make me consider buying this, because that's cool. But honestly, all of this we've already kind of known. So I'm a little disappointed, Juicehead. I'm sorry, guys. I was braced for something more exciting. That was just kind of like wah, wah. But you know what? I guess we can vibe and we can chill to this cutting edge trailer again. So, you know, whenever we're stressed about, you know, being disappointed in life, we can just remember that this is a trailer for an upcoming zombie survival game that they posted, thinking this would quell the fears of gamers who are not sure if this game is real or not. It's just amazing. It's not just about a post-apocalyptic survival. It's about family. Yeah. Great trailer. Really explains the world and mechanics in a precise and enjoyable or approachable way. Jesus. Anyway, so that's the Bethesda stuff. Kind of a nothing burger. I worked at Target. This would not be that hard if they had a good fake box. Well, like for me, it's the combination of all of these things. It's that they would have to have the good fake box. They would have to have synchronized their efforts with people in the UK who posted similar leaks and boxes that were similar but different for the different regulators and stuff in the other countries. And then they'd have to go through all the steps of, you know, putting it in the Target box and lock box and case and everything. When I worked at Best Buy, I mean, if my boss knew that I was sneaking things into lock boxes and enclosures to fake leaks, like I'd be done. So I don't know. Maybe it is easy, but to me, it's much more convincing than anything else we've seen, especially because it's not that extraordinary of a claim. It makes pretty clear sense that this controller would be a thing. I mean, it seems like layup level money. So, I don't know. AC Mirage, I am very excited. I'm very excited. And I can't talk too specifically about anything, but I would say that I think people in general are probably going to like what they see at the Ubisoft event. I have a feeling they're going to like what they see at the Ubisoft event. And that's all I'll say. That's all I will say. AP would have caught that, you would think. Yeah, if somebody was faking something like that, I think asset protection would certainly see, like. But then again, I've been in some Targets and some Walmarts that are, it's like there's nobody working there. It's like a ghost town, so you could probably get away with some stuff like that. Ooh, insider trading. I got a gut feeling, man. I got a gut feeling that you're probably going to like it. And you might not, but I have a gut feeling. A gut feeling. Oh yeah, we have the Summer Game Fest tomorrow, don't we? Summer Game Fest. Probably going to see some interesting stuff there. That's going to be interesting. We might have to co-stream that. Interesting. Yeah, apparently it's tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. Have you seen Hideo Kojima Connecting Worlds? Is that the like documentary thing that they're doing? Is that what it is? I don't know. When are we going to see the Indiana Jones game by Machine Games? I don't think for a while, honestly. I don't think we probably see it at the Xbox showcase. I think we probably see it next year, maybe the year after. But I would be shocked if we saw it this year. I think Xbox has enough with Fable, with BGS, potentially with a reveal of a ZeniMax online MMO, with like Stalker, what it was, Stalker 2, was it? Like with Stalker, I think they've got more there. They got the Tango DreamWorks or Tango Gameworks, whatever it is. They've got them. They have Hellblade 2. They probably have a bunch of smaller stuff. Potentially, they have Avowed as well. They have updates to things like Sea of Thieves. I think they have enough for an hour and 15-minute show. And they don't need to just cram it full of every little bitty thing that may be slightly ready to be seen. I think that they can take their time with some of that stuff. There's no CGI trailers at the Xbox event. What he said, Adam, and I'm just going to clarify this because I don't want false expectations. What he said was from first-party Xbox studios. No CGI trailers, only in-engine and in gameplay. But it was Xbox studios. So he still left the door open that we could see CGI trailers for like if we see some reveal for, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what we might see. Like you could maybe see like a cinematic trailer for a third-party game that comes. You know, maybe CDPR comes and let's just say hypothetically they have a CGI trailer for The Witcher 4. If they did that, which I'm not saying they will, I don't think they will. I'm just pulling this out of my ass as an example of a non-Xbox studio that could show a CGI trailer. So, my understanding is that they can do that. Yeah, Adam, you're good. It's just with all these things, like, it's really easy to drop like a word from the quote. So it's like, you know, they said no CGI trailers from Xbox studios. You know, so that one word totally changes people's expectations, you know. Arc 2 has been quiet. Do you think they'd go to Xbox? Maybe. I don't know. I would soil my pants if they actually showed some Avowed gameplay. When did they announce it? Wasn't it like 2018? Avowed announcement. No, it's 2020. Okay, so it wasn't that far ago. It was relatively recently.
We have always known war.
Obsidian. Oh, is Arc owned by Xbox? Really? Oh. Learn something new every day.
It forged our empire. Turned heroes into queens and kings. And decimated our foes. Now our oaths are lost. Forsaken. And you must face the monsters our sins have borne. Is an oath worth the weight of a crown?
It looks badass. Granted, we don't really know anything about it, but it looks badass. So we'll see. I think that could make an appearance. It's been 3 years. And it's easy. Like, COVID made everything feel like just 2 years basically disappeared. So it doesn't feel, it both feels like a lifetime ago and it also doesn't feel that far ago. But 3 years should be a while. Like, well enough. Or enough time to get some stuff done. Hope it's also third person. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to the first person thing. I like third person games, but if they want to stick to first person, the fact that they did a trailer where they showed the first person, I think probably says it's going to be first person. You know what trailer was really funny? It was Outer Worlds 2. You guys remember that trailer? I think it was also from, was that 2020 or 2021? I think 21. This one. You guys remember this? This was awesome.
We begin by hearing an old, wise-sounding voice. And we see a quiet, peaceful setting. This will make our game seem big and important. Now, something must break the serenity. Will this creature be in the game? No. Say goodbye to it forever. Suddenly, and for no reason, people running. These pointless slow-motion shots make everything seem cool and should bolster pre-sale numbers. That wah sound can mean only one thing. We must gaze over an epic shot of a world, and there should be lens flares. Now we see our hero, but only their silhouette, because the developers haven't finished the design, or finished the story, or finished any gameplay that's actually ready to show. In fact, the only thing they have finished is the title.
Oh man, it was so good. That's got to be one of the best game like reveal trailers ever, just because it owns how cringe so many of these announcement trailers can be. But man, what were some other amazing like announcement trailers? I'm trying to think. The Witcher 3. Oh, look at this. Witcher 3 debut gameplay trailer. This was in 2013. Look how different this looks. Oh yeah, this looks pretty similar.
6 months into the invasion, Nilfgaard's legions had pierced the heart of the northern realms.
Horse riding's way different.
Blood-soaked fields, war-swept wastes. A lone wolf roamed these broken lands.
CGI.
A beast slayer, a whirlwind of rage and steel.
This is
They say
2013.
he was a man obsessed, chasing memories, faces, scents. Yet amidst the chaos, he could only follow his heart.
I think it actually got a bunch of upgrades. Like it actually looks way better in the final release. It's wild to see what it was looking like
Some
2
fight
years
for
before
glory,
launch, though.
Justice or gold. I fight for those I hold dear. I'm Geralt of Rivia, the Witcher.
I can understand why people got hyped for that. I can understand. Now I want to replay it. Yeah, dude, for real. Oh, the reaction to the God of War. I think the original God of War 2018 trailer. 2018. Because it was Atreus playing with the little figurines on the ground. You remember? Let's see this. I remember this.
Doesn't scare me. Boom. Oh no!
Boy. Boy.
Your mother's knife. It belongs to you now.
What for?
A test.
Just wait.
She taught you to hunt, yes?
Just wait.
Yes, sir.
Then show me what you know. I am hungry. Feed us.
People just immediately lost it.
That was.
Oh man. Yeah! Yeah! Oh man. That level of just sheer hype. Or The Last of Us 2 announcement, that thing was baller as well. That thing blew people away. By the way, thank you, Luke, for the 2. I want Brink 2 now, TBH. Is it bad? I don't know what that is. Andre, thank you for the 8 months. Jeez. 8 months already. That's crazy. Luke, hope all's good. Breath of the Wild trailer, when it released, was really good. Oh, I'll look that one up too. This one, though, I remember this Last of Us Part 2 trailer. And like specifically when they showed the Firefly logo, people lost their minds. And then I remember seeing the graphics and just being like, there's no way this is running in real time. And even now, this is running on a PS4. Look at this. This is running on a PS4. That's how different Naughty Dog is. It's just outrageous. I cannot wait to see what their next gen or current gen stuff looks like. And it was this. People lost their minds. Chat exploded when this happened. And then the hand. We're gonna see the hand. Yep. This is like ingrained in my soul. And like, watch the animation of the guitar strings vibrating. I cannot even begin to describe to you, with my limited knowledge of game development and animation, how ridiculous every part of this scene is already.
I'll walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil, because I'm blind to it all. In my mind, my gun, they comfort me,
Theseus.
because I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong.
Oh man.
No, I can't walk on the path of the right, 'cause I'm wrong.
And now we know that this is all just a fever dream for her, which is why the light is
What are
so
you doing,
bright
kiddo?
outside.
You really gonna go through with this?
I'm gonna find, and I'm gonna kill every last one of them.
And I remember just seeing this and being blown away that it was running in real time. Like, it just stunning. And this is frankly what I miss. I miss it so much. Is that feeling of just amazement. How on earth did they do this? You know? And I haven't felt that in a while. It feels like it's really a bummer, but I just haven't felt that. Let's see. Thank you, Rari, first of all, for the 199. Good afternoon, my good sir Luke. You streaming Summer Games Fest? That's the plan, as long as we don't have a baby. Nikki could pop literally any moment. So if we're having a baby, I won't be able to. But if we are not having a baby, I will jump on it. You better believe it. Joseph, thank you for that. People got hyped for the original Battlefront in 2015. Oh, really? What's that one? Okay. I did say I'd look up the Breath of the Wild announcement next. It was the Wii U trailer, right? I think so. I'll look up that one. Just a moment. And Luke, thank you. Brink was a Bethesda FPS with parkour in the 360 era. Oh, interesting. Who made it? Was it Machine or id, or who did that? This was E3 2014.
Last year, I said that revisiting the conventions of the Zelda series would be our theme for the new Zelda game for Wii U. However,
did we
before
know.
I get into that, let me talk about something that I needed to help to realize this ambition. In fact, it's something that we've wanted to do for a long time in the Legend of Zelda series, and so development began with this as our focus. In the earlier releases of the Legend of Zelda games, players got to explore a wide area, scrolling up, down, left, and right. However, after the game transitioned to 3D and the hardware continued to evolve, it became harder to create that feel of being in a vast world. For example, in Wind Waker, we used various techniques to create a wide world where you could freely explore many isolated islands. But it was very hard to create one large world where everything felt connected. We had to design small, bounded areas with a defined entrance and exit. And putting them all together made it feel like you were playing in a large world. But you still couldn't cut through the boundaries wherever you liked to explore that world. Today, I'd like to talk to everyone about the latest Zelda game for Wii U. But first, please take a look at how the game looks on screen.
The snap.
This is the new world of...
Was that like a little nod to the Switch? Do you think he knew? Do you think he knew? Because the Switch didn't come out till 2017, so this is 3 years in advance. But the Switch became like the whole marketing thing. Even to this day, they always do the snap to transition for things in the Switch. So it's very subtle. Very, very subtle, you know? But it's a good touch. And I mean, I understand why people looking at this were like, what?
Zelda. It's quite a vast world, isn't it?
Oh, and then it transitioned into this.
Convention we can keep, right?
Watch how smooth this shifts. Those guardians. Ugh. Good old ancient arrow. Coming in 2015. That aged well. Man. Man. I'm pretty sure that was the announcement trailer, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was. Man, we were so young. So young and foolish. So young and foolish. Meh. Oh man, you know what was a great trailer? This one. I'm gonna see how quickly you guys pick up on this. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you this was posted about 14 to 15 years ago. Okay, 14 to 15 years ago. Hold on, this is gonna give it away. Let me skip past this bit. I mean, there's no guessing. Okay, it's on screen. You're gonna see it. Okay, who cares? This announcement trailer. Bethesda had never made a Fallout game before. Prior to this, they were only like the top-down isometric games, Fallout Tactics, that kind of thing. And so to see that the guys who made like Oblivion were doing their own Fallout was just stunning. Oh man. Fallout 3. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, man. Oh. It's just so good. I think Mr. Matty Plays came into existence when those trailers dropped. Yeah, he just appeared. He materialized. Yeah. Yeah. The Unity trailer. Is that the one with Everybody Wants to Rule the World? Because that's going to get us copyright struck like a mofo. World premiere cinematic. Announcement sneak peek, maybe? The following is alpha game footage. Oh, the old school Ubisoft logo. Oh man, that's a throwback. Next gen starts here. Oh, dude, it still looks really good. It doesn't look this good. This is the post-processing, the fog effects and stuff are even better. The line of distance is way better on this. So it doesn't look this good, but it still looks pretty good. This got me hyped back in the day. And they said this was alpha. Like, look at that crowd density. If they ever, honestly, if they weren't just like pulling this up out of their ass, if this was ever running, it makes me so sad that we still have never gotten a game that looks this good in real time with crowd density like that. Such a bummer, man. You guys remember this?
Experience. Enjoy.
The gameplay reveal. I still think Unity has some of the best like Assassin's Creed gameplay for like different options of entry, different tactical options. The cloth physics. Throwing the stool. Those crowds. See, in this dev build, they didn't have the insane pop-in. So at some point, they were able to get this working without crazy pop-in. And you can see they're doing co-op in real time on stage. Allegedly, unless they were pretending, which maybe they were, I don't know. But at some point, they had the tech to turn off that crazy pop-in. Nowadays, even on a super high-end PC, you can't get that to go away. If somebody in chat knows a way to like mod it to turn off the pop-in, let me know, and I will jump on that ASAP for videos and stuff. I've never figured out a way to do it. In the game, it's locked where like the pop-in is just horrible. But you see, in the game now, right around the circle of the player, right here, you see insane pop-in from the low poly models of characters in the distance. And it's just a bummer because modern hardware could handle it, could run it on this quality level. Man, I would love a next-gen update coming to Unity. That would be great. Can you imagine a next-gen update? And then the four-player co-op stuff. I know some people didn't love this because they're like, oh, co-op is coming to AC. Come on. But I've played this in the last like couple years, and it's honestly not bad. It's actually pretty good.
We can work together. Spare me, please.
We can work together. They're only peasants. Tell me that doesn't look badass. I mean, come on. Come on! Oh, man. There's been some amazing announcement trailers. One of my favorites was this AC Origins one as well. Partially because I'm just an AC fan, and then I also love Ancient Egypt. But you remember the music choice? Just listen to this. Take it in. I don't care if this gets us like demonetized for this stream. This is worth it. This was phenomenal. I was in a state of euphoria for like 3 days straight.
If you are the dealer, I'm out of the game. If you are the healer, means I'm broken and lame. If thine is the glory, then mine must be the shame. You want it darker. We kill the flame. Magnified, sanctified be thy holy name. Vilified, crucified in the human frame.
So good.
A million candles burning for the help that never came. You want it darker.
Then the transition to the macro from the micro.
I'm ready, my lord.
This is amazing. Come on.
The story's still the same.
Alexandria, the library.
Suffering and a paradox to blame. But it's written in the scriptures and it's not some idle claim. You want it darker. We kill the flame.
Dude, now I have to replay Origins.
They're lining up the prisoners and the guards are taking aim. I struggled with some demons, they were middle class and tame. I didn't know I had permission to murder and to maim.
Oh, so good.
You want it darker.
You want it darker. Oh yeah. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh man. Say what you will about Ubisoft. They have made Maddie noises. I wish I still had that. They know how to make a good cinematic trailer. They do. The game is nothing like that. In my experience, the game feels like that for like 20-30 hours. It's pretty great. I love Origins, but I've been completely transparent that I am if the game is an 8, I'm gonna give it an extra 2-3 points because I love Ancient Egypt so much. I'm just fascinated by it, like to an insane extent. I have you can't see it now, but I've got the Lego Pyramid of Giza. I have art books and where did I put it? Did I move it upstairs? Maybe? Oh, here it is. Like this. This is my custom Hidden Treasures book, signed by Dr. Zahi Hawass of the Supreme Council of Antiquities in Egypt. He used to have that job. Now he's independent. But I have been fascinated by ancient Egypt since I was a little wee lad. Okay, I love it. Fascinated by it. It is literally on my bucket list to go sooner rather than later to ancient Egypt. So if a game is an 8 out of 10, but it's in ancient Egypt and it's a relatively faithful recreation, I'm going to give it an extra 2 points. That's just how my brain works. I just love it that much. Same thing if people are really into Star Wars and they get like a Star Wars game that's awesome, they'll give it extra points. If they're really into like, I don't know, Resident Evil, and then they get Resi 4 remake, they're going to give it a couple of extra points just in their mind because they have that bias. That's totally okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to be clear. I love Origins. I would still give it as a video game, maybe an 8 out of 10. But for me, being a hardcore, like, ancient Egyptian fan, it's like a 10 because it gives me the ability to escape to a place that I've always wanted to go, you know? Yeah, like Spider-Man, or if you're really into like World War I or World War II, then some of those Battlefield games might scratch that itch. So, yeah. The beat drop on the blimp. Oh yeah, battle announcement. I actually was just replaying some of Battlefield 1 on the ultra wide. Oh, I forgot they used this. This song will slap no matter what. It's just a great song.
Come on, then!
Seven Nation Army. Ooh. That's a winner. That's a good one. Oh baby. Oh baby. There's just there's so much good stuff out there. But going into this season of game reveals and trailers and stuff, I just really, really hope that we get a couple of those announcements where we just go, oh my God, I did not see that coming. Like, I want that feeling like we had watching all of these trailers we just went through. I want that feeling once from one of these trailers. That's all I want. That's all I need. Just once. That's all I need. I don't know if we'll get it, but just once. That's all I really am hoping for. So we'll see if that happens. I think Xbox has the chance to really surprise some people with what they've got lined up. I think Ubisoft, if they drop, for example, that Star Wars game that's been rumored, I know nothing about it. You guys know that if I did know something about it, I would be like, I can't talk about this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know anything about the Star Wars game. But if they did drop something with that, I think that could be a showstopper that blows people away. And like Avowed, I think could blow people away. Hellblade 2 could definitely blow people away. So I have a feeling we might get surprised by something, but we're just going to have to wait and see. I'm on that hopium. Yeah, me too. Me too, for real. Do Elden Ring reveal reaction or the Cyberpunk 2077 Keanu Reeves? Oh, the Cyberpunk Keanu Reeves. Yeah. crowd reaction. It's like the whole trailer we've seen before. Game didn't end up looking quite like this, and get ready. Here it is.
Wake the up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
And then Keanu comes out. I remember seeing the trailer and just being like, is that Keanu Reeves? It looks like Keanu Reeves. And then he comes out on stage, they announce him, and it's like, oh my God, that what? What? Yeah, I think that's right here.
Walking the streets of
Breathtaking.
is really going to be breathtaking. So tell me.
I think he was totally taken back. He doesn't do like big live stuff like this usually. And so I think for him to be on stage with everybody was probably a bit of a shakeup. But man, that was something else. That was something else. Just hit right. And then the Elden Ring reaction. Was it really that good? When did they reveal it? When did they announce it? I don't recall. E3 2019? Is that what it was? Okay. Oh, the lighting effects throughout the stage.
I doubt you could even imagine it. That which commanded the stars, giving life its
Oh, the music, man.
The Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring. Shattered by someone or something. Don't tell me you don't see it. Look up at the sky. It burns.
Not as explosive as I was expecting. Like, people are kind of like, yeah, yay, but it's not like the explosion of excitement that we saw for some of this other stuff. Interesting. Was the RDR2 reveal? Where did that happen? I thought they just dropped the trailer randomly. I don't think they did like anything too sorted. This was the reveal trailer. I think they just dropped it. I don't. Was it at an event? It was just an image on Twitter. This was the first trailer they dropped. And it looks and plays like this. That's what's insane. Banjo, thank you. You're going to be able to join our members only streams.
Listen to me. When the time comes, you gotta run and don't look back. This is over.
Fall of 2017. Was it delayed a full year? Because it was 2018. I don't remember when in 2018 it launched, though. But, man. That's a winner. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, like any other trailers that were just wow. It could have been this original Spider-Man trailer. This one was pretty explosive.
Safer. People see me and think they're safer. But it's not really me they're seeing.
Old Insomniac logo.
Probably for the best. Knowing everything hinges on a guy from Queens sounds
Pizza
as
time.
scary as it feels.
People were at this moment were like, "Oh no way!"
No pressure, right?
Oof. It really took Insomniac from like a respected studio to a god tier studio. Just like in the span of a year or two, they went from, yeah, Insomniac, they make good stuff, to, oh, Insomniac are one of the best in the world. Like, it's wild how quickly that can turn around. Man, Nightwatch, thank you for becoming a member as well. Welcome. Welcome. I was crazy when this dropped. We never saw him go through that shop. Oh, really? Did they not do that? I thought they did have a sequence where he went through the shop. Maybe you're right. It's been a while since I played through Spider-Man PS4. It's been a while. Yes, man. Hey, Luke, just got your reply on the most recent video that I won the giveaway. Just send an email to follow up. Awesome, yes, man. Yeah, hopefully it didn't seem like I was some sort of scammer that was like, you want a free PS5? Please email me and send me 15 Bitcoin to claim it. Yeah. Not really. Hold on, Charlie. Not really that whole thing. But yeah, I will ask you to re-comment on that post. With something to verify that it's you who emailed me, because I want to make sure I actually give it to you and not to somebody pretending to be you. So if you could go back on that original comment that you posted where I replied and was like, you won, congrats. If you could go back and reply to that one with something included in the email or something, then I can verify that it's the same account top and bottom that you also emailed me, if that makes sense. I just want to make sure it's you that gets it, not somebody pretending to be you, because we've had that happen before where people email pretending to be the winner of a giveaway, and it's They go to some insane lengths for it. Spencer, thank you for becoming a member as well. Jeez, guys, thank you. 3 in a row. Bop, bop, bop. Love it. Love it. If we can get a handful more members in here, this will be a baller stream. I probably should bum for more memberships, honestly. I probably should ask people to become members more often in the streams, but I always just kind of forget and space it. But I appreciate you guys. One of us. Duh, duh. One of us. You're damn right. You're damn right. Charlie just did a video, or Moist Critical, just did a video on the Twitch situation, and I'm kind of intrigued. I'm interested. Because he's one of these big guys. He's one of the guys that Twitch actually cares about, allegedly. And so it'd be interesting to hear what he has to say, because he's one of the people they want to keep very, very happy. This is a link to it. Let's see what he has to say. Because this whole Twitch debacle is just hilarious. I want to see.
The title is not clickbait. There was a new policy on Twitch that was announced today that will legitimately destroy the platform, with the majority of streamers choosing to go elsewhere if it goes into effect. Now, this was announced like 3 or 4 hours ago, but I decided to wait a little bit to see what Twitch would respond with, because the backlash has been considerable. Everyone is rightfully furious about this, and I just kind of wanted to let it all simmer, let Twitch kind of marinate in this witch's cauldron here and see how they would respond to all of it. So I went and played basketball, which is why I'm very sweaty right now, and I've just got home, and it turns out they did respond. I expected them to respond with something like, "Our sincerest apologies. Earlier this afternoon, we were coming down with a severe case of big fucking idiot disease. Turns out one of our employees replaced our water with plutonium and stupid juice, so we had radioactive brain rot when we came up with this idea. We're scrapping it. We're sorry."
Yeah, but instead they're like, "We're sorry you misunderstood it." It's like when you have that really like kind of nasty manipulative boyfriend girlfriend, and whenever they screw up, they're like, "I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you think that I think that. I'm sorry that you were too stupid to understand what I really meant." You know, it's that manipulative sort of like, I'm not the problem, you're the problem. That's basically what Twitch did. It's super cringe. Mr. Mo, thank you for becoming a member. Awesome sauce. Got that blue badge. Love it. Kappa Claus, thank you also for becoming a member. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are tremendous. Can I gift memberships as well? Just to like give back to you guys as well? Am I able to do that? Let me mess around with it. Let me try. Because if I can gift memberships, I'll try gifting some memberships to you guys as well as a thank you. Because the memberships are awesome. You guys can come to the members only streams when we get to be a little more candid and open. We get to play games with you guys, hop on Discord chats. It's super, super fun. But yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, I'll investigate gifting that while we check this out.
That's what I expected. But they went in a different direction. They went with a very pathetic attempt to save face and backpedal. So we're just going to go over this whole situation from top to bottom here. It was revealed today that Twitch has put sponsored content and branded content in their crosshairs to try and fucking slap. So formats permitted with the new guidelines on branded content on Twitch are logos on stream. So branded overlays are limited to 3% of screen size at most. So any branded overlays can only be 3% of screen size. That means like if you have a G Fuel sponsorship or something, you can only have like G Fuel in the 3% of your screen area. You can no longer have burned in video ads, meaning you can't play like your own ads during it or ads of another brand that's working with you. You also can't have display ads, so like banner ads, which is a big one because a lot of sponsored game streams require banner ads, which completely removes that, which is a huge hit to most streamers. We'll get into the specifics in a moment. And then you can't have audio ads played during streams. Now they clarify what is allowed, which is branded panels on the channel page or showcasing products in a stream background or links to other sites that promote things, discussing, endorsing, or unboxing products, and playing sponsored games. The last one's a little silly considering that when you play sponsored games, part of that package almost always includes at least one of the things that is now forbidden with the new policy changes they're toying around with. Now, all of these are huge changes. A lot of streamers have talked about this. I've talked about this. The vast majority of revenue a streamer generates is through sponsorships, whether it's sponsored game deals for like X amount of hours streaming a game, or just ancillary partnerships with other brands that you will promote during your stream. That's where the majority of streamers' revenue comes from. Like almost all of the top 500 streamers, that is their biggest driver of revenue. Subs and donations are a small part compared to sponsorships. So Twitch targeting that is like...
Yeah, and I think people often look at the big streamers who are making like, they have, I don't know, like say 10,000 subs or 5,000 subs. And they're like, oh, so that's where all their money comes from. And it's like, you got to remember, for these big guys, that's actually kind of like, that's a small percentage of their total viewership or of their total revenues. It's actually not that huge of a percentage. Most of like XQC's money comes from like the sponsorships he's done with like some of these gambling sites before those got banned and kicked off of Twitch, and he's made some buku bucks doing that stuff. Ooh, I can gift memberships. Okay. I'll do that while we're doing
like
this.
the only decision they could make that legitimately would drive all of their top 500 streamers elsewhere if they can no longer pursue partnerships comfortably on the platform. This is a platform destroying moment. This is up there with Tumblr banning porn, or that day that OnlyFans decided they were going to ban porn. It is it's Armageddon for the platform. This would sink Twitch, without exaggeration. Let's talk about some more specific examples. Tournaments, video game tournaments, or even just any general events could no longer function on Twitch because for those tournaments to exist, they have sponsors. And as part of those sponsorship packages, the events like a Smash event or a Valorant event are obligated to play those sponsored ads during the event, which has now entered Santa Claus's naughty list here on Twitch. It's illegal. You're going to the fucking slam, you're going to jail if you play a sponsored ad during your stream from these policy changes. So let's take, for example, Valorant. Valorant has an eBay deal. So during intermission in between games and Valorant broadcasts, they play eBay ads. Not anymore. Not anymore, Buster. You can't do that shit yet, you outlaw. Listen here, Bubba. No more of that shit.
There's
something very interesting to note here is that YouTube actually has a similar policy that a lot of people are bringing up to compare the two right now. But Twitch's enforcement and the way that they spoke about it seems very different than the enforcement of YouTube. And from everything I've read, YouTube doesn't really enforce this policy even at all to begin with.
This is what's tricky. Welcome everybody who just got gifted a membership, by the way. Welcome everybody. Glad to have you. I just inhaled my own throat. That was weird. Jesus. Anyway, it's okay. I'll make it. I'll survive. So I understand YouTube has some policies like this. I get that, but the selective enforcement is something to consider. However, let's be fair. One of the reasons we're so frustrated with Twitch is because Twitch is very selective with their enforcement. Sometimes they enforce some policies. Other creators get away with doing things that would be bannable to somebody else. It's well known that if you're buddy-buddy with Twitch admins and employees, you can get away with murder, basically. You can get away with, like, straight up having sex on stream because you just, I guess, hit them at the right time of day. It's really, really weird. Banjo, thank you for also gifting. Appreciate you. Thank you. One of us. One of us. So the selective enforcement thing is kind of slippery.
It's just kind of there as a blanket in case things get exploited or misused. But either way, there is something comparable on YouTube, but not nearly as egregious or as frightening as what Twitch is proposing. Now, when this policy change first got announced, we immediately tried reaching out to as many people as possible for some clarity, because the way that it reads seems like it's going to have a massively detrimental impact on our esports org, Moist Esports, thanks to the way we do our watch parties. And from all the information we've gathered, it seems like we're in some fucking hot water there, which is not good. Opera GX sponsors our esports team, and as part of that sponsorship deal, during our watch parties when we're cheering on our teams, we play our own custom Opera GX ads that we made ourselves with green screen, like where I'm a pirate or a fisherman, those kind of really goofy over-the-top ads, we play those. But now that whole concept is more forbidden than human transmutation in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We can't do that anymore, which is a huge hit to our esports org, since Opera GX pays us under the expectation that we're also going to be doing those ads during our watch parties, which we can't do anymore. We also have a banner ad for Opera GX during the watch parties, which we can't use anymore. So the main two things Opera GX is sponsoring...
This is where it's like, how on earth did this get past the initial ideation phase? Like, how on earth did this happen? Because you tell anybody, even affiliates, if Twitch admin said, hey, affiliates, we're thinking of a policy where we would basically get rid of banner ads, make it so you can be suspended for using those, and we also want to get rid of baked in video ads, stuff like that. Everybody would tell you, no, that is a horrible idea. Why on earth would you do that? What do you get out of it? And to me, it's clear they're doing it because they want to be able to sell that to the streamer and take their cut of it. They don't want you negotiating straight with sponsorships. I wonder if he's going to look at that clip that I showed earlier from the CEO of Twitch. I don't think so. But it's quite telling. They feel very entitled to the viewers that they have and to the streamers they have.
Our esports org for has been banished to the fucking shadow realm. So what are they paying us for if we're to continue doing watch parties on Twitch? And it's entirely out of our control. It's not like we're choosing not to fulfill our obligations with Opera GX. Twitch just wouldn't allow us to, or else my channel would get banned on Twitch for doing so, I imagine. Now, Opera GX has been an extraordinary partner. I don't think they'd actually drop us for it, but they would have every reason to, because they're...
I will be real. Opera GX, phenomenal sponsor. Love them.
Wouldn't be able to get what they were paying for with our esports org and our watch parties anymore, because Twitch isn't allowing it in its current state, at least not as it stands from their first pass of this policy. It's just so fucked up. Now, it's not just, our esports org or, top streamers or anything like that. It's any streamer that would pursue sponsorships, which is a lot of them. Big and small streamers, all of them alike, do rely on sponsorships. And this hits everybody equally. It fucks everyone in the face all the same. It is an extremely greedy and corrupt, degenerate decision from Twitch. It is fucking disgusting. It's definitely worth mentioning that I have seen some arguments being made where Twitch might follow YouTube's example here and won't enforce it strictly. Like they might just reserve this policy for bad actors only. And I guess that is entirely possible, but there's just no way of knowing. We just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But there's very clear ways this could be implemented that hurts every single person who uses the platform. And personally, I feel the reason why they're even making this policy update in the first place isn't necessarily to follow suit with YouTube or something as like a fallback protocol in case there's bad actors misusing branded content somewhere. I feel the reason they're doing it is to try and push all their streamers to do everything through Twitch.
I agree. I think they're also trying to push smaller streamers away. We went through that earlier on stream. It seems to me like Twitch has a lot to gain from all of those little streamers who are streaming to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. They benefit from them leaving to go to Kick or YouTube or Mixer, Rumble, whatever. Yeah, go stream on Mixer. We'll see how that works for you. But I usually with decisions like this, you can figure out what the idea was, right? Like, what they were thinking. Oh, this company, like what is it? Vision Pro, the new like Apple VR headset, priced at $3,500. To me, that makes sense. For a lot of people, they're like, this is insane. They're pricing it so high, doesn't make any sense. Who's going to buy this? It's going to flop. And I'm looking at it from the perspective, I think that they are, where, okay, no, from their perspective, they're trying to sell this to developers who will spend $3,500 on it, develop apps for it, and then in 2, 3, 4 years, once those apps have been built up, then the prices drop, it becomes more accessible. That's when it's sold to the public more openly. And that's when you'll see the success with it. It's not like a short-term immediate thing. So I can understand that weird choice to release that product because in the context of Apple's broader vision and plan, it does make sense. Even if initially through like a myopic view, it might not make sense. But with Twitch's whole series of decisions here, it really comes off as extreme cockiness, and they really are tempting fate. They really believe that big streamers like Charlie, like Asmongold, like Hassan, like XQC, they really think that they're just going to keep taking it. That they're going to start going through Twitch for all the sponsorships, because what are you going to do? You're going to go stream on Kick? Nobody reliable or of quality streams on Kick. YouTube? Okay, yeah, go stream on YouTube. Good luck. They don't have the chat features we do. They don't have the chat culture we do. And maybe they're right. Maybe these guys are just going to like make a big fuss. I mean, a lot of creators, you can see Asmongold posted this less than a day ago, and it's already almost 1 million views. This one's at 3.5 million views 17 hours ago, number 2 on trending. Maybe they're just making a big fuss and it doesn't actually cause trouble. Maybe. I hope it does. I hope these guys leave, because really, if within like a month's time, like Charlie, Asmongold, I'm assuming Pokimane still streams. I have no idea. Maybe XQC as well. Maybe Hassan also. If those guys leave, Kai, did Kai already leave? I have no idea. I'm out of the loop on Twitch stuff. But if all those guys left within the span of a few months, I think Twitch would immediately be like, oh shit. And they would start to really reevaluate. But at that point, you can't just win people back. And what YouTube should be doing is they should be approaching people like XQC, like Charlie with Moist Critical, like Asmongold, Hassan. They should be approaching those guys and offering exclusive streaming deals where for like 2-3 years, they cannot move back to Twitch. 2-3 years of having no big name talent, I think would put Twitch under. I think we could see Twitch in the span of just a few years, potentially even fully shut down by Amazon. If they are just losing money, crazy hand over fist, and they can't dig themselves out of it, I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Because it seems like Amazon already is not super thrilled with Twitch to begin with. They're really not happy with it, which is why they're changing so much. But all of these decisions are just one additional nail in the coffin each and every time. It's just amazing.
You know, do all of their sponsorships through their sponsorship programs. That way they can get a cut of everything. That's how I interpret all this. That's how I feel the motivation behind it was. Is misguided, it's mismanaged, it's completely lost, it's geriatric, it's run by octogenarians, it's out of touch, and it is desperate. It is desperately trying to get its grubby little fingers, just plant these little piggies in each pie that happens on their platform, and that comes right out of the streamer's income. We've already seen them do that with the sub revenue, where they're dropping everyone to 50-50 sub revenue forever, non-negotiable, and now they're doing it for sponsorships because on Twitch, all streamers, a lot of them are doing sponsorships, and when they do, Twitch sees nothing from it. They don't get any portion of sponsorships done by streamers on their platform, and that makes them furious. They got steam coming out of their ears. So this is their attempt to try and force streamers to comply with Twitch's ad incentive program, or their branded content program, such as like the Twitch Bounty Board. The Twitch Bounty Board works kind of like a sponsorship, where companies have approached Twitch to do like sponsored game deals, and streamers can go into their bounty board, click and see what's there, and then choose to take a deal where they're getting paid X amount of dollars for X amount of hours. And if they do that, Twitch gets a large portion of that income. To me, it just seems like the direction Twitch is going is do everything through us or else. It's only been 2 months since they made this announcement where they're testing new experiences to connect streamers and brands through their sponsored streaming network that they're.
That was April 4th. And this was amazing, because it really was just them saying, yeah, we're testing new experiences to connect streamers and brands by making sponsored streams work better for our community. We're in the early stages of seeing what works, but want to give you a sneak peek. This month, you may start seeing sponsored streams, including, and they went into the list of the various things that they were doing, and it was all just like insane ways that they could go in there and get their hand in the cookie jar and start taking your sponsorship stuff. If they wanted to quell the fears, they could just come in and be like, don't worry, none of our plans include taking any percentage of sponsored content or sponsored revenue from creators. When brands approach Twitch to sponsor creators, 100% of it goes to the creator. And then, you know, they could have the sponsor handle processing fees, all of that. But they could say 100% goes to the creator. But they don't say that because they know that this whole thing is being built on taking half of the sponsor revenue for themselves, or 30%, whatever it is. And that's why they don't say it, because they know damn well what they're doing. I would just love to be a fly on the wall inside the Twitch offices while they discuss this stuff openly. Everybody turn off your phones. They turn them off. Everybody's very quiet, and they just go through it openly. So we want to take 50% of their sponsored revenue. How do we do that? Well, let's start introducing some policies where we offer alternatives, and then over time we'll start to ban things like banners, and we'll say that it's because we're trying to protect the viewer from aggressive banners and things. And then over time we'll just slowly, over the course of like 2 years, start banning those things and making it less and less convenient to do your own sponsorships until eventually they just decide to go through us. Then somebody in the corner raises their hand and says, but Mr. Clancy, CEO of Twitch, what happens when people leave because they can go make more money on YouTube or Kick or Rumble? What will we do if we lose the talent? You stupid, stupid ass. You stupid dumbass. They're not going to leave. We're the biggest live streaming platform on earth. They're not leaving. I really think that's what this conversation boils down to. I really think, yeah, yeet that guy, send him out. I really think that's what's happening. I think they are just at the point where they don't think that this is like enough to push people away. I don't think that they really believe that the big streamers are going to leave, because so far, very few of them have. I know there's been a handful of big names that have jumped ship for various other places, but a lot of the people who have jumped ship already were like banned by Twitch for various reasons. So they probably weren't that thrilled about keeping them to begin with. And people like Tim the Tatman leaving, or Courage, or Ludwig, they're big streamers, yeah. But Twitch, I think, is more concerned with the broader numbers. I think they can absorb losing 1 or 2 or 3 creators here and there. It's not that big of a deal to lose like they can lose a few, but they don't want to lose everybody because they make most of their money from the big guys. Nate, thank you for the 2. Luke, a mate said only people use the VR for porn. A lot of people do, I'm sure. I'm sure. But it was funny during the Apple event. People were like live tweeting are they going to talk about the porn experience and stuff? I was like, Jesus, guys. Yeah, I've heard that is a common use for sure. For sure. I feel like not a lot of streamers would leave TBH other than YouTube. There's nowhere to go. And then Leo, if YouTube made offers and focused more on the experience mod tools, I agree. They need to be reaching out to these creators. Hopefully they're not so focused on shorts that they lose sight of live content, because this is a huge opportunity for them to knock down Amazon's platform even further. They would love to do that. They should start to negotiate some of this stuff, because in the grand scheme of YouTube's budget, tossing a YouTube or a Twitch streamer that maybe has 5,000 subs or 10,000 subs or something, tossing them $1 million to come over to YouTube for a few years exclusive is not that much in the grand scheme of YouTube, you know? Shorts is a travesty. People's attention span is disappearing. Yeah, no, the attention span issue is definitely a thing. It just feeds into the worst like monkey instincts of just like, ooh, squirrel, ooh, piece of candy. You know, it's bad. You got to be able to focus on stuff. I agree. Once OTK leaves, it's over. I'd say if you had like a whole group of people like that leave, especially at once, I think that would be enough of an, oh shit. I think that would potentially be enough to wake them up a little bit. But frankly, it seems like all of Twitch's executives are on board with this new direction. So it would take somebody within upper management at Amazon to gut the upper management at Twitch. And that probably only happens once Twitch reports losses for like, and just demonstrates viewership has plummeted, participation from streamers has plummeted, everybody's leaving for other platforms. And all of this basically just boils down to Twitch thinks that these big streamers like XQC, Moist Critical, Asmongold, they think that they are not going to leave because Twitch has the bigger audience and Twitch has Prime subs. So they're like, yeah, we dare you. And so far, they've largely been right. Some people have left. A lot of people have stayed. So far, they've been right.
They're creating. So it just seems like since Twitch offers this program, it seems like this policy change was supposed to scare streamers away from partnering with brands outside of Twitch's ecosystem here, because Twitch doesn't make any money if you get a brand deal outside of this program, whereas if you use Twitch here for their sponsored streams, Twitch makes money from it. Twitch is really trying to monopolize streamers' income, and this is something Mr. Beast just mentioned on Twitter as well. Twitch just wants to make sure that if any money is generated on their platform, they get a piece of that pie. They want that cake. They're gluttonous, and they're willing to sink as low as humanly possible to get it. It's sickening. This doesn't just affect individual streamers. Like I mentioned, it affects anyone that wants to do events on their platform as well. So let's do another example. Smash tournaments. Smash tournaments rely entirely on sponsorship revenue, like a Papa John's ad or something like that. All of it. All of their money comes from sponsorships, which means banner ads, large screen built-in ads during broadcasts, and even just full commercials during their broadcasts during intermissions. All of those things are no longer allowed if this policy goes through as written. That ruins every single gaming event that happens on Twitch right now, and generally just every single event ever. So like a music festival. Music festival is another great example. Music festivals rely heavily on sponsors too. If you watch a music festival that sometimes get broadcast on Twitch, you'll notice they have their own built-in ads as well that they'll play sometimes, depending on which one you're watching. That's no longer allowed either. So should this policy be pushed through the gates of fucking...
Yeah, and again, people were like, well, maybe they're just going to selectively enforce it. Respectfully, like that's part of the problem, is that they selectively enforce stuff like this. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to tell you, no, we pinky promise we won't strike your fundraiser for cancer research where you're going to do like a Summer Games Done Quick sort of event with sponsors. We pinky promise we won't ban you for doing that or shut it down for breaking that policy. Even if they mean that, Twitch is so inconsistent with their enforcement because apparently there's no communication and there's no standards put forward. I wouldn't be surprised if even after the CEO says, no, we're not going to strike those events, they would still get struck because it's managed so incompetently. It's just amazing. Channel points is the biggest thing for Twitch for me. There's so much integration or interaction potential with your audience with channel points that doesn't require money and encourage engagement. I would agree. Like, Twitch has a lot of unique features. I hope that YouTube starts to build in some of those. They've just totally gotten distracted and sidetracked with shorts. which is perhaps fair. Shorts are ridiculously huge, as are TikToks and stuff. So it makes sense. Short form content's crazy. But I think that they should also be working on some live integrations and stuff. And they have added some. They've added like managing moderators and stuff in the last few months. So some mods can actually change like stream title and thumbnails and stuff like that, which is a good addition in my mind, but still. And that's fair, Leo. 90% of Twitch chat engagement is just memeing and emotes. That's true. Part of that is when you get to have a chat that has 10,000 people in it, it's pretty hard to communicate any clear idea because it'll just whiz past before anybody could possibly read it. So it just boils down into sort of this hive mind group think sort of thing.
In Mordor here and make it to the platform, every single event organizer is going to leave Twitch because they legitimately will not be able to run on Twitch anymore if they can't play ads from their sponsors. And sponsors aren't going to give money to people or events if they can't have their brand be showcased, like with a banner ad or a normal commercial. If they can't get anything out of it, why the fuck would any of these brands sponsor anything on the platform? It's not going to happen. So all of the event organizers are probably going to go to places like Kick or YouTube. And I imagine most of the streamers will be going to other platforms as well, at least part-time. They won't fully invest in Twitch anymore because it's not safe or reliable to do so. Again, Twitch themselves have said, like, most streamers are getting most of their money through sponsorships. And now Twitch is hitting sponsorships. Like, they're reducing their ability to make money through sponsorships, like directly impacting them, even after recognizing how important that is to the ecosystem. So most streamers, there will be a mass exodus, I imagine. A lot of streamers have already said that they're going to do that on Twitter in response to this. So streamers are going to go to other platforms so that way they can continue to have these sponsorship opportunities. Like, Twitch is really on the deathbed here. This policy change is the end of the platform if it goes through. Now, I've said this, I've been very open about it. When my Twitch contract ends, and I'm doing my best to try and end it early, when it ends, I will be going to other platforms to stream, just to test them all out. I'll still be streaming on Twitch occasionally, but we can't even do our watch parties there anymore, which is a big thing that I love to do. So I would like to try streaming on YouTube, for example, which is why I turned on memberships on YouTube here, just in case. So it's one of those things where this is something that will destroy the platform. And Twitch must have recognized that because they did put out a follow-up statement about an hour ago here. And I think it's trash. I think it is a terrible response. Today's branded content policy update was overly broad. This created confusion and frustration.
Which, this whole thing is just funny. He's going to get into it. But their policy was not overly broad. The problem was that it was overly specific. And so, like, they just doubled down on the complete opposite thing. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing.
We apologize for that. We do not intend to limit streamers' ability to enter into direct relationships with sponsors, and we understand that this is an important part of how streamers earn revenue. We wanted to clarify our existing ads policy that was intended to prohibit third-party and networks from selling burned-in video and display ads on Twitch, which is consistent with other services. We missed the mark with the policy language and will rewrite the guidelines to be clearer. Thank you for sharing your concerns, and we appreciate the feedback. We'll notify the community once we've updated the language. What a load of horseradish. This is some sour fucking mustard here. Basically just saying, we're sorry you misunderstood us. Yeah, we must have used too many big words for your simpleton minds, and it led to too much confusion, so we're sorry for that. We'll make sure to dumb it down into layman's terms going forward. Well, that's just not the case. It's not like you put out a broad statement that had a lot of misinterpretation or misconstruing of the information. You laid out pictures. Like, you literally made it as simple and specific as possible, down to exact percentages of how much it could take up on screen. 3%. That's not broad. Like, you specifically laid it all out with fucking pictures. Like, I don't know why they're trying to play this angle that it was just too broad and confusing and people misunderstood it. You made it clear what your intention was. I don't think there was any misunderstanding here. This is just a really sad attempt to try and save face, like, oh, no, we didn't mean what you guys are saying. No, we meant something totally different. Brother, you laid out a picture book of the new policy changes. Like, it doesn't get more clear than that. Now, again, this is just very obvious backpedaling here, but at least just own it. Just be like, hey, guys, look, we fucked up. We're lost. We don't know what we're doing at Twitch, guys. Look, everything's on fire over here. Employees are getting let go left and right. Our CEO's 96 years old. He's a fucking fossil. Like, we just don't know what's going on. We can't steer the ship correctly, so we fucked up with this idea. We're just desperately trying to get a couple more doubloons out of the platform and don't know how. Like, at least that would have been honest. As opposed to going down this path where it's like, sorry, it was confusing and you guys didn't understand us. And then the ultimate cherry on top of the shit cake is they still, in their response, don't explain what they're doing. They're still not explaining what the new policy is doing. They're just saying, okay, we'll rewrite it. Okay, but so what did we get wrong? What did we misunderstand then? The only thing they add even a little bit of clarity to is that it's supposed to target third-party ad networks. Like, I suppose there's some companies that have programs that will pump branded content onto some streams, and it kind of competes with Twitch's own built-in display ads. It's something I've never heard of and had to do some serious digging to find because it's not exactly a prevalent issue on the platform from everything I'm reading, but there are a couple of companies that will pump their own ads onto streamers' streams, like burn-in ads onto their streams, and when those pop up during a stream, that makes money for that third-party company, not Twitch, and sometimes the streamer gets a kickback from that as well, but it's not like a true sponsorship partnership deal. It's like a ad network having their own, basically having their own display ads on Twitch without it being Twitch display ads, if that makes any sense. It's very niche. Like, if that truly was what they were trying to target, there's a very overblown response and exaggerated reaction to it. They went nuclear on it with this whole song and dance they've made out of it.
Well, and that still doesn't explain why they are banning banner ads, like, that doesn't explain that.
it's very clear Twitch wants to facilitate every sponsorship deal through their platform so they get a cut of it. They've announced like the ad incentive program, as well as they even have their own new branded content program to get sponsorships through them, and they get a portion of all of that. So they want to make sure that streamers are kind of coerced into using those programs so that way Twitch can get more money out of them, as opposed to having their own agents, their own managers, or their own connections to these brands to work directly with them, where Twitch doesn't see any money from those sponsorships. It's very clear why they want to do this. It's just a fucked up thing to do, and it ruins the whole platform by trying to implement this policy because no one's going to stay there. There's competition. Twitch isn't the only platform for streaming. You can go elsewhere, and many streamers will and are actively. Even with a full walk back here, and they like completely just eat shit publicly and say like, look, we're not going down this path anymore. Everything's going to stay the same. You can still do sponsorships, no problem. Even if they do that, the trust is gone. Most streamers are still going to look elsewhere because Twitch has shown their hand.
Well, and this is what I've said many times. The most telling thing is that everybody's knee-jerk reaction is to go, oh, yeah, no, Twitch is trying to screw us out of all of our money. And once that's the reaction, once that's the perception, you can't really undo that. Like, Twitch should be working very, very hard to shake that perception and make people think, no, Twitch actually wants you to make more money. What's the perception for Kick? Well, it's that, for one, it's sort of a Wild West, and that there's very, very inconsistent moderation and stuff on that platform. But also that they're trying to make the streamers as much money as possible with crazy high splits, with very low takes on their end for processing donations and things. So the perception for them is that they're actually doing something that is looking out for the streamer. Whereas for Twitch, it's like, no, they're going to try to milk every penny out of streamers that they possibly can, and they don't really care if you leave. You don't mean much to them. And that's crazy. It would be dope if Doc Disrespect bought Kick and made it bigger than Twitch. He doesn't have anywhere near enough money for that, but that would be funny. Now, Mr. Beast probably could. Thank you also for the 8 months. Jeez. Yeah. Happy 8 months of our I give you money relationship. Oh man. Do you think Twitch is already making enough money? Maybe Amazon wants Twitch to not rely on Prime subs to earn money and not to shill, but I feel like both streamers and Twitch are greedy. No, definitely. Like, the thing to remember is most of these big streamers that are complaining about this are worth 8 digits. Some might even be worth 9 digits. Or sorry, figures, if you prefer that. Like, they're worth 7, 8, 9 figures, depending on how long they've been streaming, how long they've been making millions of dollars a year, and if they've been investing it and stuff. So these people are like, they're so greedy, they're trying to take all of this. And it's like, this platform has literally built you into a deca millionaire. So like, if anybody could justify sticking it out, it would be you, but I mean, whatever. So I will grant you that. However, I do think it's important to just like, at the end of the day, it's business. Like, people are streaming to make money. People, like, very few people are streaming just to fill the time. Somebody like Asmongold, you could say maybe, but Asmongold also clips like YouTube things, clips from his streams on his Zach Rohr account that isn't partnered. And my understanding is those are monetized. So he's still making YouTube revenue from that. So, you know, he's streaming for free, but I mean, he's making money on the back end from the clips. And I mean, it's sort of the same thing with us. Like, the live streams, this live stream will probably end up, like, when you factor in the amount of money I will be paying like Jacob to edit stream clips and stuff, in all likelihood, we probably are going to be negative for how much revenue this stream makes. Like, I don't think it's going to make money. And these live streams don't really make money. The 1 month we made money was in February when we were streaming here, and that was because I think there was Hogwarts Legacy, and there were a few streams, a few in a row, where we had like 1,000 to 2,000 people in chat, and there were just like ridiculous numbers of gifted subs or gifted memberships, donos and stuff like that. It was a very exceptional month. But usually this live channel, especially the streams, is losing money. I just do it because I like it, and also because I enjoy it. And one day maybe, I mean, it's a labor of love, but one day maybe it turns profitable. Maybe one day this actually works. For a stream my size, like what we're doing now, normally there would be no employee helping cut stream clips together. There would be nothing like that going on. So this is a very fresh thing, but still. Because you love us, Luke, just say it. I straight up, I look forward to the streams over the weekend. I'm ready. Monday morning comes, I'm like, yes. I look forward to it. I really do. I thought about, like, okay, let's look at this honestly. The YouTube streams don't really make money. We lose money all the time while doing it. Should I just stop the streams? It was a fun experiment and then spend all that extra time making videos and doing other stuff. I've considered it. I've run the numbers, and clearly on paper it makes more sense to just not stream and spend that time working on videos or other stuff. But I really enjoy it. Will you make money with YouTube videos with clips from this stream, so it's a win-win? Well, so the thing is, I have somebody that cuts all of those stream clips together for me because I'm busy working on the main channel stuff. And so I have to pay him to do all of that. And those live stream clip videos very rarely make enough money on a month-to-month basis to cover what he costs me. So it makes money, but it's still not a profit, you know? I remember your streams with like 80 people. Yeah, a year ago, I think we were still on... Yeah, a year ago we were on Twitch, and I think we were averaging at this point last year maybe like 30 people in chat. 30, maybe 40. I think we hit partner in July. I think it was July. We applied for partnership, waited like a month and a half. We started trying YouTube and growing from there. So probably like August, September, we were at like 75 average. And now every stream we're floating around 400. If it's a big day and something's happening, we might have 1,000, 2,000 people in here. But it just depends. Still the most relaxed stream I know. Well, I appreciate that. We should be playing more games. That's the thing I gotta do. Pretty aight. Thank you for the $4.99. The streams are the best part of my workday. Appreciate you hanging out with us a few times a week. Yeah, and like I said, I love it, and I look forward to it. You guys are great company for me. Hopefully I'm not too annoying to you. So, I appreciate it. Yeah, Jacob's been killing it. Yeah, Jacob's been doing phenomenal work. It's not like this is growing. We're still growing. So one day I think we'll be profitable, but it's just right now we're not, you know? How would the stream become profitable? I mean, for one, if like, I think the numbers I saw were like, I'm trying to remember. I looked at it relatively recently. Like the membership revenue splits and things. Thank you. Hashtag baby want milky. Baby want milky indeed. I think probably memberships, if we saw memberships spike up and we were averaging like, I don't know, 300-400 memberships a month, that would get us across the profitable line. So we'd be making like a few $100 a month all told. Now this assumes that like my time is worth $0, because if I were making videos in this time, the like 15 to 20 hours a week that we're streaming, if I were making videos during that time, we would probably be adding another $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 a month. So we're losing out on that. So if we're talking about like actually getting back the value of the time, then you could say we would need realistically like 1,000 memberships to pull it off, you know? Oh, daily streamer, thank you. That's very generous. Thank you. Would you actually be making those videos? Yeah, Jake, I think what we would be doing is I would go back to making the video essays I used to make. So we do like a weekly one of those on Wednesdays that I would edit, that I would put together. Because I used to only be able to do one of those once every week or two. But I would make it a point to do those weekly. And those would be my thing where I edit them together with my unique style with the After Effects and all that stuff. So I think it would be interesting. It could be fun, but realistically, to end up getting to that point where on paper it's profitable is probably like 6 or 7 times the memberships we have right now. And gifts like this from Daily Streamer are incredibly generous. And don't ever think that I take these for granted. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. Like, if you're going to donate money, if you're going to become a member, if you're going to do that sort of thing, I think it's only fair that you kind of know what's going on in the background, you know? Does that make sense? Like, in my mind, I'm just kind of like, it makes sense to be transparent. Like, if I'm ever at the point where I'm like, yeah, I just bought a new Bugatti. Also, by the way, can you guys sub and like send me donos and stuff? Thanks. Yeah, I also got a sponsorship from a gambling company. They're paying me like a couple $1,000,000 to talk about this Bitcoin thing. It's gonna be pretty cool. If I am ever like that, I wouldn't expect you to be throwing me money. You know, if I'm just filthy loaded rich. And that's why I try to be like kind of transparent. You know, if you still want to donate money to somebody who's like a multimillionaire, more power to you. I don't really get it, but okay. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. This whole Twitch thing is just baffling, though. Gone on a bit of a diatribe there. I'm trying to... Okay. Now that I'm a member, do I get half-naked autographed pic or nah? You guys get direct links to my OnlyFans, and you get to see everything. Jeez. Nightwatch, hey Luke, got a question for you. I'm someone who is an inspiring video editor. What is it that you or others in your position look for in a good editor? For me, the ultimate editor, and this is why I work with Jacob and why Jacob gets paid what he does. For me, the ultimate goal is for me to not have to think about it or worry about that. I want to be able to film a video and send it to you, and it just gets done. And I also want you to be able to add something unique that I couldn't add. I need you to make it better, you know? That's why I like, you know, sending a video to Jacob where I'm like, just do hashtag gimme in the chat. And then Jacob goes in and does the editor's note. Actually, that was taken by a Make-A-Wish Foundation charity drive. So instead, we're going to be using hashtag baby want milky. Like, that's just really unique and funny. And that's something I didn't add to the video. He made it better with his own little spin. So that is something I look for, is an editor that can have a unique spin to it. Consistency is super, super crucial. And this isn't true of every creator, but for my particular type of content, it's important. Quick turnaround times. I considered going and trying to hire somebody like years ago who lived in Australia that was recommended to me by another YouTuber that I've worked with and done collabs with. And their editor, very capable, a phenomenal editor, but they were in Australia. And it made it so it was really hard to communicate back and forth. And if there was like breaking news or something, because he worked with like 5-6 different YouTubers, I'd be like, hey, I need to get this video out within like 2-3 hours. Can you quickly throw this together for me? And I'm going to toss it up on the channel because it's breaking news story or breaking game reveal, something like that. And he'd be like, well, actually, I'm pretty swamped. I can get it to you in a couple days. And that to me just didn't work. But I don't blame him. He has a bunch of clients. Got to juggle all of them, you know? So, stuff like that. Like consistency, turnaround times can be important, and adding unique flair. And I will also say the trend recently, I've gotten a handful of applications in the last month or two for people wanting to edit for me, and they send me their demo reels, and the thing I would say about them is generally they are very over edited. A lot of them are. It's like they're filled with all sorts of little gifs of like dancing characters, crazy sound effects. The like noise is way louder than it should be. It's not balanced correctly. There's just a lot of weird stuff going on with it. So I just say sometimes less is more. If the editing is so chaotic that I get distracted by it, it's a problem. I think in many cases the edit should be invisible. You shouldn't think about how it's being edited. It should just be something you consume. The editor should add content, little flair to it that adds to the experience. But the actual cuts and things you should never notice. It should just be something that happens. If you notice it, something went wrong. You know, it's the same thing. Like you walk into a store or a restaurant. I would rather maybe like a bookstore. If I walk into a bookstore, I don't want to smell anything. If I smell something, it probably means something went wrong. You know, maybe the wood, there's humidity, maybe there's like some leak in a pipe somewhere. Like that should be invisible. Or like you order a steak, or well, maybe a steak's a bad example. You order sushi. You should just eat the sushi and enjoy it. I think if you get caught up in the texture of the seaweed or in the rice or something went wrong, because that should be like the least of your concerns. That really should not be at the top of mind. Anyway, thoughts, people who make 90% of their content about minimal effort reaction stuff, such as Asmund just watches other people's content who they have put hours and hours into and uploaded on their channel. I think it feels weird. It does feel weird. We react to stuff here and we try to link to it, and we do all of that. And the thing that I've come to realize is that a lot of people, including myself, like if I've seen Asmongold react to a video that I'm interested in, I will go watch the video that he has linked, and I'll go enjoy the video myself. And if I want to hear his thoughts on it, I'll go hear his thoughts on it and I'll watch that afterwards. But one of the key metrics and key elements of fair use is whether or not it retains the value of the original work. And in my view, a lot of these Twitch streamers reacting to something does, in fact, as weird as it is, it does retain the value of the original work. And also, a lot of people who are watching Asmongold react to X, Y, or Z weren't going to interact with X, Y, or Z to begin with. You know? So it's effectively a new viewer. So like if Asmongold reacted to one of my videos where I go through like Redfall or something, and he put it up on his channel and monetized it, I know full well that he is making a fair amount of money from that video. He's probably making a lot more money from his reaction to my video than I'm making from my video through the ad revenue. I know that, but honestly, I'm just glad to have the exposure. I'd rather him do that. He makes money, I make money, and I get the exposure. To me, the exposure is worth more than if I like threw a fit and filed a copyright claim or something, you know? So the exposure is actually something that can be very, very helpful. Would you want Asmund to watch 1 or 2 videos of yours every week? Personally, yeah. I think that would be generally really positive. I would just be thankful that he likes my content so much that he wants to share it with people, with his audience. And one thing I hadn't really considered when we talked about this before was that YouTube does have tools. If I wanted to go and copyright strike that and get it taken down, like, you can get that done. That can happen. You can get it struck and I could take all the ad revenue. I wouldn't do that because, frankly, to me, it would be more valuable to have him watch it, react it, expose his audience to me, than for me to claim that, and in all likelihood have him delete the video and never watch my stuff again, you know? It's rough when they barely watch the video, or when they watch the video barely say anything. I know Hassan's gotten in trouble for that a few times, where like he'll turn on a YouTube video and then just get up and go use the bathroom, or he'll get up and go get food and cook in the kitchen while a video's just playing. So I know that has been something people have been upset about before with some big streamers, and usually that makes the rounds. People get upset about it, and generally, maybe this is naive of me, but I think generally people are pretty good about calling that type of thing out. Most people get it, and most people will go and call out the streamer for doing that, and will go watch or click on the link and give that person a view or something. So I guess all told, I think if you're caught up in that, most of the time it's just a waste of energy. I just don't think you need to be that stressed about it. Personally. There are, of course, situations I can imagine where somebody is just like, you know, basically kind of like that Hassan example, where they just get up and they play your hour-long video and they're not even at the desk, and they just leave it playing while they go do something else, like they go to the store. That, to me, is a clear example of something terribly wrong. Like, that, to me, is unacceptable. But I think that if somebody were to do that, they would probably get called out. But in general, I don't think it's worth worrying about. I love the Hassan memes where it's just his chair. I agree, where it's like some breaking news or like this Twitch story, and then it's, I wonder if I can find it. Oh, this is badass. I've got to talk about this. Oh yeah, this is the meme. Hassan reaction. And it's just the empty chair. Oh man, because there's a bunch of moments like this where it's been like some breaking news story and people will click in. I've clicked into his stream a few times and it's just this. It's just an empty chair. And usually videos are playing, TV is playing, and he's watching and reacting to the cut, like breaking news or whatever. But yeah, there's been a handful of those moments, which is pretty funny. Pretty funny. Okay, let me show you guys this. This is actually really cool. This is my, like, the thumbnail topic. So the titular topic. This is what I wanted to get into. So buckle up, Jake. We got another stream clip. Here we go. So I've been saying for a long time, Apple, they've got a layup of an easy way to make stupid amounts of money. You guys will recall I said what they should do, because, and I know this is easier said than done, but I'm like, hey, it's Apple. They spend $25 billion a year on R&D. If anybody could figure out how to do this stuff, it would be Apple. But what I said is, I don't get why Apple does not, with their M2 chips, build in like native sort of like Proton or Wine conversion layers to make it so that you can play x86 games on ARM devices. Basically doing the same sort of thing that the Steam Deck is doing to emulate Windows or PC games and play them natively. I'm like, if anybody could figure out a way to do that super, super efficiently, it should be Apple. And during their reveal of the new Mac Studio, or was it the Mac Studio? I think so. During this reveal, they showed Metal. No. That's not it. Fits right in. I don't know if they have a portion of this for it. But basically, they have a new version of their API Metal. I don't know if it's technically an API, but of their software Metal, which is what's used for converting games and transitioning them to Apple Silicon. Really, really interesting and compelling. Okay. Well, turns out there's more going on there than people realized initially. Apple added support to macOS and Apple Silicon via its game porting toolkit for DX12. It's basically a 20K patch to Wine, which is a software that allows you to basically do this, that will make it easy to play AAA Windows games on macOS without using a virtual machine. And then they get into a bunch of details, but essentially this is Proton, Valve's Wine thing for Linux and SteamOS, and DX12, but for macOS. And apparently this is like kind of like the first huge update to this. Is it's the first official brew formula for Apple? Yes, can't believe it. Can release games use this, or released games use this, or is this only for porting the porting toolkit for initial performance evaluations? It sounded like the latter, that it's not for games to ship to consumers with, but for quick performance evaluation, saving months of time. Nah, released games can do this. You can literally set this up and pipe in an exe and run it. People are already working on front ends to make it easier for end users. I fully expect Steam to adopt this in the future in the Mac client. Now, it's easy to say stuff on Twitter, okay? What does that actually mean? Well, apparently, in the span of a day and a half, 2 days, whatever, people on Reddit have already started jerry-rigging Cyberpunk 2077 to run on an M1 MacBook Pro using this. And performance is not very good, but on the M2 Max, you can see that it actually runs pretty solidly. This is the full video. Running an M2 Mac or M2 Max with game porting toolkit high res. And what are these stats? Due memory, 120 hertz, refresh rate. It's running at 2056 by 1329. So nothing crazy. But this is very playable. And this is not an official patch. Running on Ultra, turn off DLSS or leave it on auto. Okay. High settings, Ultra, everything. Dude. What? This is after like a day or two of screwing around. Imagine what a full studio would be able to do. This is running on a Mac, and it's not natively supported. Like, what? Gaming on a Mac seems like it's actually like it could happen. This could actually become like a pretty standard thing if this performance is to be believed, especially if they can refine it a little further. That's ridiculous. And I've said before, I love my MacBook Air. I've considered getting a MacBook Pro for editing and stuff, just because I've kind of missed editing, and I think it could be fun to get back into it. But I haven't bit the bullet yet, because I'm like, I don't know if I could justify it, especially if you can't game or do anything on it. But frankly, this stuff that they're showing off is outrageously impressive. And if you have not, if you're an Apple or if you're a Windows user, or if you just have never used a MacBook in the last 2-3 years, the Apple Silicon is actually ridiculous. It's like I can't even begin to explain how silly the battery life is, for example, compared to everything else I've used. I have a Windows PC, like laptop, used it in the Jedi Survivor I tried video. And if I leave that thing powered off, fully powered off, but not plugged in, sitting in its bag, within 2 days, the battery's completely drained. And I have to plug it in, let it charge up, and then I can turn it back on. My MacBook Air, I charge it once every 2 weeks. And I pull it out. I use it for half an hour at night, writing scripts, responding to emails and stuff. Might use it for an hour or two, making thumbnails or something. It is outrageous how good the battery life is. It's just not even close. And beyond that, that MacBook Air doesn't have any fans. It doesn't have any active cooling or anything. And it's still able to, like, I cut together a few TikToks with it. It rendered out the TikToks very quickly. I use Photoshop on it without any issue. It's ridiculous. So if they actually are at the point where you can get Cyberpunk 2077 running pretty comfortably on a MacBook Pro without a lot of messing around, that's pretty outrageous. This is running at 40 FPS on Ultra. Let's see. He's gonna crank a few settings, it looks like. What's it run at? This is floating in the 30s, like 32 FPS on Ultra. 33? That's ridiculous. Like, I don't even know if my gaming laptop with a 3070 could crank it at this
super chatted
fidelity.
$198.50.
Oh, geez, dude.
I'm late, but Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 trailer fire.
Oh, baby. Well, Sean, first of all, thank you very much. That is ridiculously generous. That's straight poggers. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. Oh, wait, yeah, this. I do remember this. 8 years after the fact. This was like, when was this? This was... That's the... E3 2012. 11 years ago. Oh, it was Konami too? Oh, man. Konami used to be one of the tops, man. Yeah, great trailer. Game sucked. I never played it. I have no idea. But, I mean, Konami used to be at the top of their game, man. Like, Konami used to be a powerhouse. And then they lost Kojima. And then for like a decade, they basically just didn't do anything. And now they're trying to come back in it. But as we've learned, you can't really leave the industry for a while and then just come back in. You can't drop like a terrible game and then come back in and expect to have the same reception, because you lose the talent. Like, employees leave, and those employees are what make the games great. And so I'm very iffy on whether Konami can pull it off again with like the Metal Gear Solid Delta. Dude, for 2012 as well. Oh, lordy. Okay, now I want to see what the game actually looks like. Oof. It's dragging the dude. Oh man. What was the... Oh, it's still got more. Hold on. I want to see what the actual game looks like. Oh man. Where's the review? IGN review. A stake through the heart.
When Castlevania Lords of...
Oh, Colin Moriarty! I forgot he was with IGN. I always thought he was like GameSpot or something. I don't know. Or was he Kind of Funny Games? Did he leave IGN to go to Kind of Funny Games? It was something like that.
Shadow came out in 2010. It wasn't the first good 3D Castlevania game, but it was the very first one that truly understood what it was to be Castlevania. It abandoned many of the series' conventions and told a markedly different tale, yet it looked and felt like Castlevania. That's why it was so exciting that it would be followed up with a proper sequel, and why it's so confusing that the long-awaited Lords of Shadow 2 feels like a step backwards. Lords of Shadow 2 has many nods to the greats of the franchise. Lines from Symphony of the Night are spoken mere minutes into the campaign, but it's also very much its own take. That was a good thing with the original, which felt inspired by Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. But in Lords of Shadow 2, Mercury Steam may have walked too far away from what the fans of the series expect, especially when it comes to its setting. Largely mired in the present day, a setting Castlevania fans aren't unaccustomed to, but still very much wary of. Lords of Shadow 2 feels like a bonkers Resident Evil game. Its convoluted story revolves around a major corporation instead of something suitably medieval. Main character Dracula, formerly Gabriel Belmont, can go into the past to more familiar haunts, but walking around a modern-day city for much of the game was disappointing. Either way, the plot is uninteresting, largely full of characters and arcs that never fully grasp me and made me care. Enemy designs are uninspired, especially in the present-day setting. Why is Dracula fighting missile-launching mechs, and why do those alien-looking creatures have machine guns? At least Lords of Shadow 2 is a beautiful game. I was especially enamored by the many background vistas, gothic architecture, and Dracula himself. And its score, while fairly unique in comparison to the series' established sonic aesthetic, is beautiful. The larger evolution may have been inspired by the likes of Batman Arkham City, if not the many Metroid-style Castlevania games that preceded it. It's open world and encourages exploration and backtracking, but it's certainly prettier than its inspiration.
Count Kratos.
Like so many of today's third-person action adventures, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 iterates on the arcadey stylings of the God of War series. Combat consists of a cacophony of fierce and light attacks, made more dynamic.
Oh, he created Kind of Funny? Oh, oh, I thought he was like one of the founders. Was he like the founder? Because my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, he was a co-founder with like Greg Miller and stuff. I don't know why. I can't stand Greg Miller. I probably shouldn't say that. I should probably just save face and be like, he seems like a great guy. I can't stand him. Every time he comes up on screen, I cringe, which I'm sure is true for like many people with me. If you cringe when you see my face, I get it. But Greg Miller, I personally can't stand him. I don't know why. I couldn't even tell you why. I just can't. But with Colin Moriarty, my understanding is that it was like a day without women was like the big protest that they were having. And then Colin tweeted out, it was something like a day without women. Get ready for the house to be super quiet, or otherwise known as a very quiet day. It was something like that, basically joking that like the day without women would mean that the house was quieter because women are loud. And that got him like totally canceled. He was pushed out of Kind of Funny and all this. That's my understanding of what happened. I think. And it's amazing to me that that got him booted out of Kind of Funny. It came off to me like the Kind of Funny guys just wanted to get him out and wanted everything to themselves, but still. Yeah, I heard it was the final straw, some tensions that have been building up. Yeah, it came off to me as an excuse to get rid of him because I was like, I'm sure we could dig up stuff that Greg Miller has said that is far, far worse. I mean, come on, dude. Like, that's ridiculous. But he went off, he did his own thing. Now he's, I think, way better off, probably making way more money. So, good for him. And awesome, yes, man. Right as we hop off stream, I'll jump on that. Thank you for doing that.
Dynamic by a litany of special moves that are unlocked by spending hard-earned experience points. Indeed, Lords of Shadow 2 provides a ton of options to keep combat fresh, giving it a feeling of depth and uniqueness. Regrettably, not all is well when it comes to gameplay in Lords of Shadow 2. Perhaps the most egregious addition is in the form of stealth sections that are incredibly annoying, unnecessary, and would break up the rhythm and cadence of the experience. These parts are literally never fun, incessantly obnoxious, and entirely ill-conceived, especially for such an action-packed adventure. It's a shame because while Lords of Shadow 2's plot and characters have little to add, combat is its shining star, and every time you run into a stealth section, that shining star's light is diminished, as the game arbitrarily removes your ability to fight when it deems it convenient. If you can get past Lords of Shadow 2's shortcomings, you'll find plenty to do as you play. Mercury Steam has jam-packed its open world with a ton to find, including myriad upgrades, hidden documents, and much, much more. Indeed, many of these collectibles expand upon Lords of Shadow's lore, and it was clear a lot of love was put into giving every character, monster, and location a unique story. Lords of Shadow 2 is a surprisingly long game to boot. You're unlikely to beat the campaign in under 15 hours unless you're rushing through, and you'll spend closer to 20 if you want to do and see everything.
15 hours was considered surprisingly long. 2012, baby!
Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 disappointed me. It seems to have taken far too many cues from its contemporaries, muddling the many successes of the original Lords of Shadow. While beautiful and well-scored and toting enjoyable combat, Lords of Shadow 2 is bogged down by some poor design decisions and subpar characters and plot points. Fans of the original, or of Castlevania generally, may want to give Lords of Shadow 2 a go to see Mercury Steam's trilogy through.
6.5. Oof. Oof. Konami, what happened? What happened, Konami? Man. It does look like God of War mixed with like Arkham City or Arkham Asylum, I think. Probably. Kind of funny the ones that have the obnoxious intros on their podcast that are constantly hitting the table. Is that them? I've never watched like Kind of Funny. I have no idea. Should we look it up?
It's the most wonderful time.
That was cute. They have a nice studio.
Of the year. Summer Game Fest is upon us, but not quite yet. So that means we get to live in La La Land.
This is the camera I wanted to get. I bought 2 of these and I tried to use them, but we had to walk away from them. It wasn't super practical.
A world of predictions, a world where anything is possible, and we're going to bring the hype right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames because this is the Kind of Funny Games cast. And of course, I'm Tim Geddes. I'm joined by the new face of video games, Blessing Adeoye Jr.
When the PlayStation Showcase happened, I got one reply on Twitter. When I posted the episode of Piss Love You, when we said that this is a disappointing showcase, one of the replies said, "This
releases," and you can find all of them on.
I mean, they've got big sponsors. Do they really only have 282,000? What am I missing? Is their website huge? Like, what am I missing? They have like Amazon Gaming as their sponsor. Are they on Twitch? Yeah, they're on Twitch. 171,000 followers. Like, what am I missing? What makes them huge? Yeah, I know they're the ones that did the Phil Spencer interview, but like, I don't know. Oh, speaking of Hassan, is he going to be sitting down in the chair? Or is he AFK? Oh, I didn't miss these. Oh, I don't want to get struck by having that on screen. Having a movie trailer get me struck. Is he going to be sitting in his chair or is he somewhere else? Wait for it to finish the damn ad. Didn't miss those. I don't know. Is Kind of Funny Games like big? I'm looking at their channels. I don't really see it. Podcasts maybe? Oh, yep. He is there. He is in his chair. What's he saying about
they
this?
wanted everyone to focus more on like fulfilling inventory
that they've sold already in the form of ads. They wanted to forcibly change the monetization structure, and I guess the reason why they could do this is also because like this would again forcibly change the monetization structure for like the revenue generation structure for content creators.
A little bit more money. They cared about changing streamers' behaviors to run more ads.
Yes.
Wouldn't run ads.
Yes.
They sold all of their media sales for more ads, but they couldn't get the streamers to do them.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what I think. That's what I think.
I can bite on that conspiracy theory because they've done a lot of things to try to change behaviors to make streamers run more ads, even like just guaranteeing the amount of money you'll make, which is losing them money. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Look,
and this would be another way for streamers to be like, well, I have to make up this revenue that I lost because I can't do like these direct like advertising.
Oh, that makes sense. I don't think that's even a conspiracy theory. Hi, babe. How are you?
I'm a blueberry.
She is a blueberry.
I'm a beatboxing blueberry.
I'm a beatboxing blueberry. Oh, he's so sleepy.
Yeah, he's been out for about an hour and a half.
Oh, early nap.
Well, no, like an hour.
Okay, so we went down close to 1.
12:30.
Okay. How's it going?
Had a super grumpy baby.
Yeah. Sorry. Very grumpy baby.
He threw himself on the floor and said, "Walk, shoes." So we went halfway down the block, halfway back. He threw a fit on the ground, and I'm like, I'm done.
His whole thing now is when he's upset, it's just straight out of a movie. He just,
Just melts.
he just falls on all fours.
Yeah.
It's dramatic. It's dramatic. Yeah.
Dramatic and traumatic.
Dramatic and traumatic. Oh yeah. I thought they were like journalists. They might have a big website. I don't know. It seems like they have a bunch of podcasts, like a bunch. 6 hours one day ago, 7 days ago, 7, 8. So they're only posting like a few every week, and these view counts, at least on YouTube, are not high for having like Amazon Games as sponsors. They got a lot of followers, but their website's got to be huge. Oh, do they have a big Patreon? They must. It's got to be something like that. Wait, Kind of Funny and Kind of Funny Games. Maybe this is it. Kind of Funny. Kind of Funny is a little bigger, but still, like, this is nowhere near where I would think. I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's it. I don't get it. Does that make Luke the crazy candy guy? I would dress up as Willy Wonka, happily, yeah. But then, like, my wife is the blueberry girl. That gets weird.
It's a little hurtful.
I could be an Oompa Loompa. I think Lachlan is the Oompa Loompa, though. I think that's probably more accurate. Or maybe they're like a big podcaster on Spotify now. Yeah, it's got to be something like that, because these view counts would not justify having that studio, having those sponsors, having tons of employees. They've got to be getting a lot of money from somewhere. It's got to be Patreon, and then they probably also have got to have a huge following on podcasting sites, because that just frankly doesn't make sense. Those numbers don't add up. It reminds me of the when they relaunched G4, if you remember that. And G4 was just like a total disaster for so long. Views were super, super low, but they had crazy high production values because they had all those multi-million-dollar investors. Yeah, no. I don't watch the live videos. I listen to the podcast. Okay, so maybe it's got to be the podcasts. They got big audience there. Are you gonna nap?
I'm just gonna stare at you.
No.
And will you to get me ice cream, coffee, and to snuggle me.
Ice cream coffee or ice cream, coffee?
Ice cream, coffee. And they have to be from different places. I don't know why.
Okay, ice cream, coffee, Snuggle. Okay.
My little sister came home and she said, "Mom said if you don't have the baby today, we're getting Mexican food tonight."
I'm okay with that. I like Mexican food. We're still floating the name. We haven't totally settled.
We're between two.
Yeah, we're between two. Tell that baby to get out. No, I want Mexican food, Billiam.
I want the baby out.
Babies due Saturday. Todd Howard Stevens, yeah. I feel like they get a lot of attention on the more mainstream games journalism side of things too. Oh yeah, no, they have connections. Like, I think that's where they probably get this stuff getting across these big sponsorships and stuff. They clearly know people from their time at IGN, from all of that.
It's gonna be annoying in the background. Like, pay attention to me.
Pay attention to me.
Pay attention to me.
Well, this is right around the time when we wrap up. Do you have any parting words, Miss Nikki, for everybody?
No.
No? Okay. Like I'm waiting.
Nope.
I'm waiting.
Oh, wear sunscreen.
Wear sunscreen. That's very wise. Very wise. Maybe have a play on Atreus as a name, Loki, or Loki. It's true.
Oh, both my brothers are a little upset that it's not Thor.
Yeah.
So that we can't have, because they call Lachlan Loki.
Yeah, little Loki.
They wanted a Thor.
Yeah. Hey man, big fan. Been watching your channel for a while, but never had the courage to say hi. Well, hi, Eli. See, that wasn't so bad. It just happens. I'm glad you said hi. That's awesome. That's wonderful. Sean is a great name. Sean's. I wonder why. Call him Balder. Balder could work. Kratos. The thing is, I like Ellie as a name without it being the Last of Us name.
Well, we wanted a Penelope.
Yeah, we like Penelope as a little girl's name, which could be nicknamed Ellie. Yeah, but we like Penelope. Penelope, as it were.
Or as my mom said, a little Lopi.
Yeah. Nikki's mom wanted to call her a little Penelope Lopi. Lopi or PP. Oh, man. Boy. As a name. We could do that. Boy. That works. JL, Junior Luke. Yeah, not Luke Jr., Junior Luke. That works. By the way, guys, when the Vision Pro launches, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one and then return it like a day later. But I'm going to get one so I can make a video being like, I played video games in the Vision Pro. Have you seen this, Nikki? No. This is the Apple VR headset that they just announced. Yeah, if she hasn't seen it, how much do you think this is?
With how crazy everything else they do, I'm going to guess it's probably around the 2,000 to 3,000 mark, even though it's probably not going to be up there.
Okay, so your high guess is 2,000 to 3,000. What do you think it realistically is?
$799.
$799. This starts at $34.99. Now, it looks amazing as a piece of tech, but they showed like pictures of this where it's like a lady, and basically there's a screen behind this between your eyes and the glass.
Yeah.
So it looks like your eyes are looking back, but it doesn't line up perfectly. And it's a little uncanny valley. So they show this girl like on a date wearing this headset.
She's like, this date really sucks.
Yeah, I'm like, if we went out to dinner and you're like, oh yeah, hold on.
We put on my scuba mask.
Like, what on earth? Like, this is very uncanny valley. It just doesn't really work.
I think you should say you purchased it, but instead just put on a scuba mask and like put ice in different spots on the scuba
That would
mask.
be funny if I bought like one of those what are they? What are they? They have the Oakley, like those Oakley snowboarding masks, and then the goggly or googly eyes on it.
Yeah, just put them in like a little off.
Slightly off.
Like,
the gaming experience has been super cool. Oh man,
Exactly.
It's just. Do you want the chair?
No.
No. Okay. Herman Miller is sending me a nice ergonomic chair because My back is bad. My back is broken. Have you guys seen that meme? Hold on. I'll show you this, and then we'll go, because I'm ADHD, the streamer. My back is broken. My back is broken is what I typed. Okay, this is it.
Mike, were you really sick this week? What was the problem?
I broke my back.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You broke
My back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
You did.
My back is broken. I broke my back. Where? What part? Spinal. Oh man, that's how I feel all the time. You guys will notice, watch my recent videos. You'll notice me constantly like going like this and readjusting. And I Googled it. I was like, what does that mean? Why do I keep sliding down in my nice chair? And apparently it is a common side effect of poor lumbar support and whatever the next portion of your back is. It said, like, if you find yourself constantly sliding in your chair and you have back pain, you should look into getting an ergonomic chair. And I love...
Sit on a donut.
You should sit on a little butt donut, yeah. I love Secret Lab. They're great chairs. Highly recommend them to most people. But if you have back problems, they are not ergonomic chairs. And don't think that they are.
If you're older than 25 and you're aging rapidly, it's time.
I'm still 25.
Until next week.
Until next week. Next week is my birthday, but I'm still 25. So I'm still just a little boy. I'm just a widow boy. Nikki, all the best for the pregnancy, and you guys get baby 2 very soon. Yeah, Sean, thank you very much again for all of your generosity. And yeah, we're ready, and it's literally any day now. Hello. Come on. We got to go meet another little baby. My buddy Caleb had his daughter, and I was like, Locke's a big kid. And but like in my mind he's still a baby. But this was a baby. Like this little nugget was just like the head the size of a tennis ball, tiny little thing. You grab her and you don't even feel like you're holding anything. She's so light. And then you pick up Lachlan, you're like, oh my god. You know, he's a meatball. He's a little meatball.
Hey.
You know it's true.
Hey.
Our son is a meatball.
The cutest damn meatball.
Yeah, he's a very cute meatball. He's sleeping
With a lot
right
of
there.
opinions.
You know. Oh, and he's snuggling. Okay. When did we mow the lawn last? Do you remember?
2 days ago. I mowed the lawn 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
The
It's
day
just
before yesterday.
it's been raining so much that we like are struggling to stay ahead of the lawn. It's crazy. It's a very good problem. When we moved in, it was like it was tough. But anyway. It's a little boy. Little boy. Sophie. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sophie. We are wrapping up right now. You know the time to come in. But Nikki came to visit us. The blueberry. The one and only blueberry came to visit. You're welcome.
I'm gonna make you pay for that.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I'm just like, okay, guys, bye. Bye. See you later. No, Nikki, stop. Stop. No. I'm sorry. I angered you. A little hot mic. That would be funny. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for chilling with me. It's been a good day, a joyous occasion. I am going to go find coffee and I guess ice cream and the snuggle for my babe. And green chili. We're getting Mexican tonight.
No, this baby's coming before that.
I really don't think so. I mean, there's like a few hours, like 3 hours.
Don't judge me. I don't misrepresent what can happen in 3 hours.
It's true. Something can happen. Yeah. Nikki showed me a video of a lady that she was telling her birth story and how she went into labor very suddenly with her second kid and gave birth on the bathroom floor. So Nikki, I think, has been quietly like thinking maybe that happens. I don't know. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I could go for fajitas. That's where I'm at, dude. I love those fajitas. Anyway, much love, everybody. We'll be back Friday with the podcast, as long as we don't have a baby. And I will see you then. It's going to be good fun. So everybody, stay safe out there. Much love. Thank you for all of the crazy, generous donations for the members. I really, really do appreciate that. That's humbling. I really do appreciate it. So thank you, everybody. You guys are wonderful. Subscribe, ring the bell, like the stream before you leave, all of that good stuff. Much love. I'll see you in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.